Hello everybody and welcome to Rage Quit Radio. I would love to say that you're watching us live, but you're not. That is because between our software and my internet connection, which somehow is even slower when you plug straight into it than it is through Wi-Fi, we couldn't live stream here from the house. We've done other live streams here before, but never through this software or trying to stream it in the way we're doing from the house. So apparently there will have to be some experimentation before we try this done again. So instead, you're watching this as a VOD, but it's still got all the nice frames and all that other stuff. You do still see the hashtags down below us for stuff that can help our players, but it's going to work a little differently this go-round. Instead of obviously you being able to help them live, anything that winds up in our chat using those hashtags, anything that winds up in the comments section will be given to our players for the next session. So that way you guys can still interact and impact the game, just not live during this session. You'll be able to impact and interact with them for the next session. And I'm sure they will appreciate any free void points or come here with you points or things like that that they can get. The bottom
I cannot nod my head any more enthusiastically, folks. It will fall off my neck.
The bottom option there, which is hashtag act like it, I will go ahead and tell you, if you put that there, I'm not going to give that to them next session, but I will have some other special fourth buff that I will give them in lieu of anybody that says hashtag act like it. They'll get that instead. So, right now, we are going to be one player down for the duration. Bob from Logistics couldn't make it today. So,
he is so sneaky. In fact, he has snuck off to another state.
Yes, he has snuck off to North Carolina without anyone noticing. So, but shh, don't tell nobody. And Marty and Judy will be joining us later. But today we have from your right, my left.
I'm your Ronan to the No Miss Joe, the normal host of Rage Quit Radio when we're not doing L5R. And I'm glad to be back. Because I missed last session, and that was terrifying and terrible.
Did you actually watch the last session?
Most of it.
Okay. Did I do Tashir justice? Okay.
I had no complaints.
Tashir, who showed up in our last session, folks, is actually
My former character.
Is actually Joe's character from our old L5R game.
Go, go, Gaijin Magic!
Also joining us, we have...
Sam.
And I am Joe Gibkin's homeboy, Josh, from Chopsaki Cinema. Woot woot! Or, more appropriately, ook ook! It's good to be back, Empire.
By the way, you can pick up your new Joe Gibkin's Homeboy t-shirt coming soon to our stores. We're actually experimenting opening up a new store in addition to our Cafe Press outlet for you guys at home. And we actually have a Joe Gibkin's Homeboy It's Good to Be Back t-shirt, which Josh got to see the design today. Meet with your approval?
Go ahead and take my money, Mike.
So, there you go, folks. All right.
Simple, yet effective.
So, real quick, just so everybody knows who is playing who at home, in case you haven't watched our past several episodes. Joe, you are...
I pilot the little Owl Clan, now poisoned and very reluctant Mubo.
I'm the brash and outspoken unicorn Saya.
I am the tiny but fiercely optimistic monkey Tokushige, despite the fact that she could be dead in 24 hours. Well, I better make these 24 hours count.
Well, it's just 12 hours now, but just saying.
Then
it's morning.
Then I gotta catch up.
Yes.
Unfortunately, sleep was something we still needed.
So, if you have not checked out our last session, shame on you. Go back and watch it. It's on VOD. You can find it elsewhere here on the channel. Also, during this episode, at some point, I will be telling you how you can win a copy of Smash Up from AEG. Wonderful little, they call it a deck smashing game, or card smashing game, but hey, it's a fun game nonetheless. Very enjoyable. We'll be telling you how to win a copy of that as we go on. Here's a hint. Leave them hashtags. So, just saying.
I have a question for the Game Master. Am I ever going to get my cat back?
The cat that you performed surgery on?
Well, it was.
Or didn't perform surgery that you forced the cat to throw up?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly. Well, no, it threw up, and then I took it to the.
For healing.
Yeah.
And,
The Moto.
yes.
The Moto has it right
Yes,
now.
the Moto has the cat right now. Yes, you'll get the cat back eventually. Just whenever you go ask for it.
The
it's
Moto
one-
that does not at all look like the type of guy that, oh, that's a cute little fella.
The Moto that also knows how to deal with dogs really well.
So, when last we left, the aide from the Stinging Hare Dojo, not the Desert Hare Dojo, I'm getting my dojos mixed up. From the Desert Hare Dojo, a Gaijin mage named Tashir had tended to our two poisoned young hopefuls, Tokushige and Shingosei Mubo, and had basically slowed the poison down to a point where they have until sundown. However, could not expunge the poison completely from their body. We know that whatever this is, it is not natural. It is some sort of poison, artificially made in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It doesn't grow on a tree like this. We know it was carried by snakes, and that those snakes apparently met their own demise through this same concoction because they have melted away. So that is potentially the fate that awaits our characters, maybe.
Hashtag GMO poison.
Yeah. So, remember, buy organic, Rokugan. So that is where we're at. Both Mubo and Shige are healthy enough to participate in the day's events. And they have been instructed to do so. So have our two, would-be jailbirds. Because as it stands right now, both Kakeda Ryo and Hiruma Omyoji have been charged with murder or attempted murder at the very least. So,
Duncan, no.
we do know that there is a way to heal our characters, as that seems like it may be the first order of business, but that involves finding a Hare who may not want to be found. So, and if you see the camera tripod moving around, it is because Morgan, one of our stage hands, has decided that she does not like the positioning of the camera. So, away with you. All right. Well, it is a bit Dutched at the moment. So, all right. Morning has come. Some of your compatriots have made it known that they are about tending to other endeavors or whatnot. For instance, Hiromi, your Scorpion Clan compatriot, she is currently basically doing some exploring and whatnot on her own, trying to use some of her family's resources to help locate the source of the poison itself. As far as Omyoji and Ryo are concerned, effectively, they are confined to quarters. When you mill about for morning mill and whatnot, you actually find that there are people carrying mills to their room, and that there are magistrates posted guard at their doors, which is somewhat contradictory to what you had been told previously, that everything would proceed as if they were not accused, and that it would be kept
Are
quiet.
these the same magistrates that arrested them?
No.
Am I still hanging out with the nearsighted Hare?
Yes, the nearsighted Hare is still with you. And just so I can remind myself of our nearsighted Hare's name.
Yeah, the person that was supposed to have been the recipient of the poison that we got.
Kawahime. Actually, Kamahime. So.
Wrong place, wrong time. Hello.
She has been extremely apologetic for that reason.
Yes, Usaga Kawahime, who is also a student of the Desert Hare Dojo. So, but you know that your morning tests will begin in a few hours. Two of the tests are fairly short, poetry and go. And then the tournament that will actually take place at midday before your break will be the weapons event, where you will engage in hand-to-hand combat with a weapon of your choice, training weapon, of course, but a weapon of your choice against another hopeful. So, what is it that we're going to be doing this morning?
Mubo is going to attempt to start his day somewhat normally.
Okay.
He tends to his beasts and grabs some breakfast.
Okay. Well, that is not at all hard to do. So you are doing that, and
I'm probably taking my food with me in order to tend to Shinshu and Hayakaze.
okay. Which are what and what, respectively?
Shinshu is the old hunting hound. Hayakaze is the old falcon.
Okay.
Since I don't have Nishina yet, that is possibly never going to happen for Mubo, because we don't know. Will they find the cure in time?
What is Saya doing?
I'm on my way to get my cat back.
It doesn't take much.
Okay.
The moto, basically, when you reach the unicorn camp, for lack of a better term, you see this large, burly moto sitting there with a cat perched up on his shoulder.
Grabbing my cat back, I guess. Like,
Okay.
basically transferring the cat from his shoulder to my shoulder, and then, believe it or not, this is unusual for me. I asked him for any words of advice for the upcoming tests, like any words of encouragement.
Yes, just remember, no matter what anybody tells you, you're still a samurai. You're still part of Rokugan. Whether they want you here or not really don't matter.
Believe me, they've tried to get rid of me for years.
They look down on us as uncivilized, uncouth, when we've seen more civilization than anybody else in the Empire. Not all civilizations are the same. So, play by their rules. Remember who you are. You'll be fine.
Awesome.
And what is Toku Shige doing?
I'm going to write my death poem, seal the envelope, and take it to the Monkey Clan camp.
Okay.
And whomever the highest, basically, actually Toku Kenji would be the highest ranking monkey.
Yes.
I would find Kenji.
Mm-hmm.
I'd bow to Kenji-sama. Hopefully, you will not have to open it. You will not have to open this.
Kenji takes the envelope. You are the least optimistic monkey man I've ever seen in my life.
She's like, I'm saying it. I smile and say, I'm like, I'm just saying, it's like, you know, it's basically like carrying a parasol when you think it might rain.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
I kind of like just chuckle a bit and say, no, I'm planning on you not opening that because my life, Kenji-sama, has been way too tragic up to this point, and for it to end during my Genfuku would make it completely tragic.
Make a heck of a novel, though. But no.
No.
He takes him. He sets it off to one side. I have no intention of opening that. Which means you best have no intention of dying today.
Hi.
Now, a note about two of your friends. word got out. And I don't know how. Omyoji and Ryo will be permitted to compete in the day's events. They will not be permitted to go anywhere else without an Imperial escort. And those orders came from much higher than me.
Well, in that case, I guess we best work even faster to try to prove their innocence.
Step one, I do believe, is figuring out what happened to you and then how to fix it.
Let's see.
One is not necessarily mutually exclusive from the other.
Oh, no, they are not.
Thank the kami for small things.
I have had Hamura-san doing some research independent on a different subject. I've had him recalled so that he may serve as their escort, since they use the term Imperial and he is an Emerald Magistrate. I find that an acceptable definition of the term. So, he will serve as their escort once he arrives. That will take some time. I would suggest that you find your way to your friends and to the front of the academy. There is an individual there waiting for you that is a little skittish about coming inside.
Just like, I will go presently to find them then.
So I assume that there's nothing else you two intend to do after you've handled you. Okay.
I got my cat. I'm happy.
So the three of you are together. You head to the front of the Cactadueling Academy. What you folks at home can't see off camera right now is that Duncan, the Denzi kitty, is trying to basically rip open Joe's dice bag.
She's very ferocious.
It's better than my leg and hand, which was about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Grind smash.
So.
But yeah, if you hear some jingling of dice, that's the reason why.
Yeah. So. You head to the front of the academy. A fairly young man of darkish skin, wearing a turban and in earthen-colored robes, is awaiting you. It is Tashir, who, given that he does not have a samurai to enter the academy with him, is not too keen on entering alone.
Oh yes, those awkward moments I remember far too well when I was in the driver's seat of Tashir.
But Tashir is there with Usagi Kamahime. I'll remember that name later, sooner or later.
And how do we refer to Tashir? Being that, I mean, even though he is an attaché to a minor clan, but do I need to make an etiquette roll to figure?
Yes,
yeah,
why not?
In polite company. Fooling.
You can keep it if you want to.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Okay.
I'm already dying.
16. Yeah, 16. So I know how to treat this guy in public.
Well, here's what you know, and it's a matter of how you choose to act on your knowledge. By the purest Rokugani etiquette, there is nothing wrong with you simply calling him Tashir. He is a gaijin.
Mm-hmm.
He is in the employ, in a position of some authority, to the master of a minor clan dojo. Typically, someone of that station, if they were Rokugani, would be Sama, or at the very least San. But, you know, so that they would be treated with some level of respect. But treating him with the respect of his station, given that he is a gaijin, might be interesting to some people if they're listening.
She's like, He helped save my life, or at least prolong it. So I will refer to him as Tashir-san.
Okay. So
Mumbo kind of gives you a look as like half nod.
Yeah, basically.
Of course, Mumbo probably has heard some of those stories of what Tashir did.
well, he also helped save you.
Well, yeah.
It's like Tashir-san, Ohio.
Good morning.
Morning, Tashir-san.
I have spent the better part of the evening and a large part of the night trying to locate my master. As I mentioned to you yesterday, at current, I have no trace of him. No trace of his presence, no trace of his aura, nothing. When a Hare travels with someone long enough, they gain an innate sense of those people. Under normal circumstances, I could tell you where Ujina Joe was and perhaps even the mood he was in. As for instance, far north of here, in your land, Saya-san, there is a unicorn maiden who for some reason is not terribly pleased at the moment. That is the extent of how well I can sense my companions. It is as if Joe...
Tashir's done me proud.
Hmm?
Tashir's done me proud.
It is as if Joe-sama never existed.
But you don't sense that he is dead, per
Correct.
se.
There would be something. I would have sensed pain, crying out. His soul would have let me know. But this brings us to our young owl. And I'm glad you are well.
Only because of your efforts.
Your clan saved my life more times than I would like to count. Granted, they were not a clan at the time. But that's semantics. The Sugenja, who helped investigate your disappearance through their communications with the Kami, likewise said that there was no trace of you where you claimed you were. Where were you when you disappeared, Ubokun?
I can attempt to retrace my steps.
Find where your friend was held captive. I suspect you'll find my master. Sugenja's ability to sense is not unlike my own. Anything that could block a Sugenja's talents can block mine.
I only wish the mark was still there. That would make this easier.
What type of mark?
Oh, little hunting trick. So as not to get lost in unfamiliar woods would be to mark bark of a tree with a nearby stone and a recognizable mark. I made a mark with a small rock on the wall, effectively. And it was gone by the time I was removed from that residence. Or building, or... well, for all I know, it could have been the back room of a shop. Back alleys are not exactly known for their advertisements.
You see Tashir kind of looking around and just eyeballing the area. You would recognize your mark if you saw it again?
More than likely.
You said
Hunter's mark may be simple, but everybody does it in their own way.
his hand disappears up the sleeve of his robe. Hummer will find this funny. Yeah. You are of the Owl Clan. Time for you to see as one. And he blows a dust into your face.
Sanitary.
The blue mist! The blue mist!
He coughs a couple times because I'm assuming he breathes some of it in and some gets into the eye and all that. What in the... What's that?
Yeah, the two others are like, that was rude.
No. If Shigenda did something like that, it was for a reason.
Make a perception check.
Just draw perception?
Yep.
The two girls like,
13.
15?
13.
13? As you're trying to shake the effect off of your, you're trying to get this out of your face and whatnot, and your head kind of darts around. There are faint markings standing out in the dirt all around you.
I see dead people.
He rubs his eyes again. Looks at the markings for a while.
Yeah, a faint glowy outline. They're all footprints. Any mark you've made for the last 72 hours, you will see.
That makes this easier. We need to find that that charming baker with the baklava.
The pastries, yes.
The liquor man.
From there, it should be easy.
Yes, we use the starting point to be the outline of Omoji's unconscious carcass.
I was thinking more the alleyway where we parted ways, but now that you remind me of that, we might want to thank him again when we're there.
One minor word of caution, though. You will see any mark you have made for the last 3 days. You will see it clear as when you made it. What you see around you now that your feet are tracing, your eyes, are your footsteps. Those are the exact path that you walked. But anyone with any reasonably strong magical abilities,
They're going to figure out that I'm...
will be able to sense you, regardless of whether or not they have a strong personal connection.
Okay, so we need to do this carefully.
I'll protect you. Ish.
Kamahime says, there. You see her?
Your bravery is without question.
Kamahime just straightens her kimono top. She pulls out a dagger about yay long. So where are we going?
As you see Shige reach into her and pull out a white sash and ties it around her head, and it clearly says bonsai written across. It says since this might be my last day on Earth. And in my experience, the best way to deal with bandits is to strike fear in their heart.
I like your way of thinking.
Suffice it to say, with Tashir's warning, I doubt we're going to take them by surprise.
Then if they know we're coming, we make sure we hit them before they can react.
I will be as
Fair
nearby.
warnings, it's just fair weather.
I will be as nearby as I can.
Thank you, Tashir-san.
And I do believe that Hamura-sama insisted that he be with us if we on any investigation for the Hare.
I've already made arrangements. Soshi Hamra is on his way back to accompany your friends. In the meantime, the way I see it, you're not on an investigation.
We're just fixing a problem we made.
Oh, it's far simpler than that.
Pastries, man, pastries.
And my student is looking for her teacher. You're just helping her find him.
You have an interesting way with words, Toshiro-san.
You don't survive in Rokugan as a gaijin for 9 years and not. Now, I will follow you as best I can. I'm afraid I will not be of much use should anything untoward happen, but I may be of use after something untoward happens. And mark my words, something untoward will probably happen. So I suggest whatever you carry with you not be for practice. I suggest that it be for real.
Using that logic, do we have time to swing by? Do we have time to swing by our encampments and possibly pick up our armor?
Probably not.
Can your dog attack, or is he too elderly?
He's a hunting hound.
As-
He takes down prey.
And Shige's like, that was rude.
He may not. Shinshu may not be a young pup anymore, but that just makes him smarter.
And old dogs have long teeth.
Quite.
He may be of use to us.
Is your dog with you? Or did you
Considering yesterday's test, I was allowed to bring my dog with me, and a moto that we know kept the dog when we were indisposed in terms of inside and private rooms and whatnot for the Courtier test. Yes, Shinshu's probably right there.
Shinshu?
Shinshu might have been even growling at you for suggesting that.
Shinshu just is looking at you back and forth as you have the conversation. He just calmly walks over to you.
Does he bite me?
No.
Okay.
And starts scratching the ground and kicking dirt on your kimono.
Ah, rude.
Shinshu.
So rude. I deserved it though.
She did not realize what she was meaning.
I take it in. I deserved it. I knew it. So.
Okay. So, time to retrace your steps.
Honestly, it feels a little weird. Usually, Shinshu is leading me, but I am leading Shinshu. Some kami somewhere is probably amused. And I cannot blame them. Because I am partly amused. Weird how this whole imminent death can affect you, isn't it?
He's like, trying not to dwell on it.
Claws mean I toss you off. It's your last warning, Duncan. Sorry, Duncan has clambered into my lap. I don't know if that's on camera at all, but if you see me suddenly wince, you know why.
We're following your lead, dude.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, we had to back the pastry chef.
Yes.
That is a common point we all know.
Okay. So, you are all heading.
We fought, but I imagine me and you, we basically kind of slide into the two like flanks, like basically in like Yojimbo positions to you.
So, you guys are making your way back to our...
Wait, did we
Yes.
grab our real weapons yet? Did we have them? Are we going to stop and get them?
Did you ever surrender your wakizashi?
No.
You wouldn't necessarily carry it with you during a test or something like that. If you don't have it, you can go back and get it. If you would have had it when you went to greet Tashir, then you've already got it.
Yeah, I've got it. Okay.
So,
Honor is something one should not.
We have a shadowy counterfeiting conspiracy that's seeking to like kill all of us. No, I am not.
And even before
I
the
am not
poisoning, we were
sleeping
warned
without a
about
weapon
that.
in easy reach.
I may not have my bow, because a bow draws attention in our circumstances. But a wakizashi, hidden in plain sight, as a scorpion might say.
so you head back to this strange shop. The smell of baklava leads you in the correct direction.
When
When
This
we
is
share.
over, my friends. I shall treat to a treat, assuming I am still standing.
I do not need sweets now. I need vengeance!
So, when you, do you go in the shop when you get there, or?
Mubo has no intention of stopping into the shop since it was the side of the back alley.
Mm.
Do either of you want to go into the shop?
I'm focused on keeping you alive
It's
at the
like-
moment.
It would probably be for the best if we did not try to possibly implicate like an innocent person in this. If they know we're coming for them, don't want them to think that he might have given us information.
I don't really think he's that innocent, but you know.
Compared to what we're tracking, yeah.
No. I don't think. Given how many winding paths I took, I don't think they would sense us yet. I think Tashir's warning was more of a closer proximity than just being in the city.
So, you're on your way through. You do see the shopkeeper. He's actually out sweeping his front steps, as are several other ones, other shopkeepers throughout. So,
If he catches sight of us, Mubo will.
I'll wave.
Ohio!
hey, you say, da, you younglings, you come by Markov's shop, 2 days ago, no?
With some companions.
We had baklava.
It was delicious.
And one of our companions had. What was that?
Vodka.
Ah, yes. Vodka.
Oh, little crab boy.
I'm in here to
Yeah.
Sorry.
You'll have to pardon us, folks, because someone is knocking at the door.
Hey, Marty.
Not man
Actually,
himself.
you have not missed a whole lot.
You have not missed much. We'll bring you in at an appropriate moment.
That's fine.
You had little crab, had vodka,
Had too much vodka.
no such thing, little monkey. Oh yeah, yes, little crab youngling had 4 fingers vodka, had nap on shop floor. Yes, I remember now. So you want more baklava? Markov have fresh batch.
We would love to, after we conclude a small bit of business first, before our tests. But we would love some baklava when we come back through.
But that's all we do here at St. Tremont's. We do business. You have business, I have business, I have baklava.
I was like, Court, he's like, I look over at,
Can I get one to go?
You can have one. Come,
I
young
and I look,
come.
I'm like, and Usagi-chan, have you tried baklava yet?
No. What is baklava?
Deliciousness! You must try.
Shige tries to
And
pronounce
she go, and I go
call
like,
it
oh, I
honey
go like,
deliciousness.
pro tip, don't eat all of it at once.
Well, that would just be rude.
And makes you very thirsty.
So, but he beckons you into the shop.
Sweet.
So
Some pre-chase breakfast.
you come into the shop.
Sit,
Da.
stay, and I'm
Da.
standing near the door.
Come in. Welcome to St. Tremont's. Come in. St. Tremont's Woods welcomes you. Come in. And he shuts the door behind you as you come in.
Yeah, that's not good.
What happened to the rest of your friends?
Sorry, folks.
Well, I'm gonna leave you to
like-
be the diplomatic one because I don't know if you want me to talk right now.
Rio and Omioji-san have been detained. And Hiromi-chan is currently seeing the sights of the city.
She has stinger. Of course, she's seeing sights of the city.
It's like, my mother was a scorpion before she joined the monkey clan. We talked in vague euphemisms.
I'm sure she saw sights of many cities.
You have a refreshing perspective on this. Much like your
The
these
delicious.
honey treats. Yes, you have a talent for picking it up. Much like these tasty treats, it is refreshing.
I have spent much time away from homeland. I am 57 years old.
I would imagine that's old in this time period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's ancient.
Very few people come into shop and say hello. Don't know why people don't trust big Usarian gentlemen such as myself. No understand why.
No, what I would not trust is a skinny pastry chef.
Da! This is what I said! Have you seen, no offense, have you seen pastry chefs in Crane Clan thin as polar bamboo? And they say they do not trust me. Da. You came to shop, you showed kindness. You remind me of my grandchildren from old country. And I also know you got into a scuffle behind my shop.
We apologize if that brought any repercussions upon you.
Did you ever drop your cat off at the encampment? Or did you keep the cat with you?
The cat's still with me.
Yeah, you can point to the cat at this moment.
Yeah.
Had to save the kitty.
Is like Shige just literally just realized that he's like, Oro? And it's like, oh my God.
Without going into, no offense intended, but without going into too much detail, the business we have that is pressing may be related to that, you might say.
So exactly how is your business related to Natalia?
Who?
Natalia.
No!
The kitten jumps off your shoulder and runs over to Markov and jumps up on the counter. Da, pretty kitty. Da, da.
Tear.
Do you like youngling from Horse Clan? It is okay, Natalia. Go. Natalia jumps back over.
Oh, you're a cat
And
ninja.
I'm actually like, this is rare for me. I'm very grateful, very humble. Thank you. Cat, yeah.
Natalia is not kind to most strangers. She eats a lot.
So do I. It's okay.
Funny thing about that, remember how the scuffle resulted in the feline's injury?
Yes.
Someone tried to attack my cat.
Someone tried to disembowel your cat.
Over something your cat ate. The less you know of what it was is probably for the best.
However, suffice to say, we were able to have it removed without
Hurting
with
the cat.
a minimum of damage to Natalia.
She's fine now.
Basically, she threw it up and then had a really long nap.
It might be better for Natalia
Da.
to stay here
No.
during this.
Would you like to get up your dog?
My dog is trained for a fight.
Oh, youngling. You believe Natalia would be safer with Markov, no?
I have the vague suspicion that it might be a good idea.
Da.
I just got her
I
back.
agree with you. One moment, please.
Just got her back.
He disappears into the back. He comes back out.
Mubo gives Shige like a, what did I just unintentionally do?
He comes back out carrying a shield on one arm, about yay big around, and carrying a two-headed axe that is like this wide.
Sweet.
Markov has joined the party.
Markov goes, Da, Natalia will be safe. Point me at person who tried to disembowel my cat.
You are a man who will not be dissuaded in this.
We need all the help
I
we
can
can
tell
get.
that.
We need all the help we
And
can.
so I will simply say thank you.
Da, I've always heard owls are very wise creatures. Besides which, you, 3 younglings. Me, 6 feet 3 inches tall.
And you can't tease
265 pounds. And, for what it's worth, former captain in the Tsarina's guard. You don't know what Tsarina is. Empress. You would call it Empress.
Oh. So,
That
and it's
is
like,
a mighty fine
actually,
position.
so you were Imperial Legion.
Yet Imperial Legion wish they were me.
Gee, maybe because her father was an Imperial Guard, so she bows very deeply.
He said, in your words, Yojimbo to Empress.
Oh.
Cool, so I say we accept his help. Just throwing that out
I
there.
mean, well, no.
It is
There was never any telling him no at this point.
I look like a tentative Bushido is courtesy, and it would be rude to not accept his help.
Yes, I'm well versed in your Bushido.
Once again, I am rendered to the point of simply saying thank you.
For some reason, I now see the setting up a grid-based battle game like the Banner Saga. With the big-ass like guy with the shield and
Welcome to Final Fantasy Tactics.
score.
Alright. So, Markov goes and locks the front door.
I will bow.
He changes the sign where it says closed.
I'll bow to the wisdom and leave the cat here in the locked shop.
Oh no, the cat's coming with you.
Oh, sweet.
That's why
Markov is coming with us.
Markov is coming with because y'all have agreed that the cat would be safest with Markov.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Yay!
Many skills are noted
Let me guess,
today.
if this was 7th Sea, this cat would definitely be of the Bogatyr fighting style. Big
like
honking
that.
axe.
Yeah.
Well then, I suppose out the back door. Well, did we leave out the front door and he locked it, or
No, he's already locked the front door. You'll be going out the back.
I suppose out the back door we go.
So,
That whistle for Shinshu
yeah.
come through since I left
As
Shinshu out the front door.
as our ever-increasing posse
Shin-
rolls down the
Shinshu,
back.
he looks at you. Duh. Your canine have special talents?
He's a fine hunting companion,
He's a hunting dog.
known to help take down prey much larger than him.
How much larger?
Boars, Dad. Bear.
About how big is Shinshu?
Shinshu is, well, relative to Mubo, probably like up to his waist, but Mubo's not exactly the tallest of the non-small Rokugane. Probably something around a German Shepherd in size. Not nearly the hair cover, thick fur.
Okay.
And, bronze, but going to gray, because older dog.
He Puts the axe down, kneels next to your dog man. Puts his hand out for
Friend.
That he knows that.
He can sense it.
Shinchu. Good boy. You have no partner now. Not me. Don't wish to offend your master. You have new partner now. Natalia. The cat jumps off your shoulder, comes over. Natalia. Shincho. The two just kind of look at each other for a second. Sniff each other. And Natalia jumps up on Shinchu's back.
I've got a warrior cat. Yes.
It says,
She's got her own.
This
mouth.
is a day for
Bow,
many new things.
bow Shinsu and Natalia for the next turn for Natalia to be a 2-force cavalry.
Basically.
I have never seen animals act like that. Today is a day of many firsts. I am not displeased by this.
Animals no different than human beings. We are animals. Certain degree of training. Your
Certain
dog
degree of respect as well.
Your dog is warrior. Hunts. Natalia is warrior. They understand one another. And now they soldiers in same army. Now, back door.
Yes, yes.
Da.
Follow me.
So, as you are
Following my footsteps. And literally there's only one path now.
you do find your way without incident. At a certain point, you come to the building and you see your mark on the building, right where you left it. The door opposite of your mark, the same door that you were unconscious and drug in.
Prepare yourselves. That's not a dead end. That is our destination. And Bo kind of shifts his wakizashi because he probably had it carried back so long simply because traveling and all that. Shifts it to his proper draw position.
Okay.
Do we knock or do we just go on in?
The last time I knocked, a very tall and muscled individual, not unlike our friend here in terms of size, very different in temperament, proceeded to cuff me off up the side of the back of the head so hard that I passed out.
So we don't arc.
No.
Okay. Who wants to kick the door in?
No, why we no knock?
He could knock.
Yeah, I'm literally like, no, I imagine
This is
I
actually
imagine
a
that
good
Markov
idea.
would definitely be the most capable knocker out of the four of us.
No, Bushido, courtesy, part of Bushido. Not courteous to not knock.
Knock with shield. Or knock with axe.
Simply said, they may know we're coming. They
don't
may
know
not
you're-
open the door with generosity in their mind. Or hospitality. Or indeed any kindness whatsoever.
So you'll knock with prejudice. He walks up to the door.
Not with prejudice.
Knocks at the door. Tunk, tunk, tunk. There's no answer. You sure this is place?
As certain as if the kami themselves guided me here.
Somehow I doubt that. Tunk, tunk, tunk. Delivery!
Candy ground.
Fish baklava delivery! Tunk, tunk, tunk.
I'm like, ooh.
I'm not allowed to have it, so I can
You definitely don't.
Dunk, dunk, dunk. Last chance, free baklava delivery. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Order now, or then downgrade to axe to door.
So, now, see, being courteous. Then he takes the axe and smashes in the door.
Like, I have found my new hero right now. Like, my.
He walks in.
He's up there with the motto in your mind.
Yeah.
He just kind of strolls in. Baklava. And there is a room with a considerable number of individuals in it. Not caught unawares. Most of them in some way, shape, form, or fashion armed.
Awesome.
And you have this interesting smell permeating the room.
Oh no.
Make a perception check.
All of us are just.
Nope. All of you.
I'd rather
And
not be
you.
Do I make an investigation roll?
6.
What is your investigation? Do you have a specialty or an emphasis?
No, I don't have an emphasis.
Investigation, perception.
Got to remind
I
Alright, so that was an 11 and a 5. Hold on, I get 2 more dice then. I have an emphasis in interrogation. I don't think that's
That
going to
don't
apply.
matter.
Probably not one of them.
I got a 6. So
Mine from a
If
16
you
to a
will,
17.
if you will catch a seat there next to Sam,
Come join me.
a wild marten has appeared.
Yeah, it's effective.
The question will be, is it super effective?
Come on, Martin.
So what am I?
You're just making a perception check for me.
Alright. Thank you.
But which, for the record, for those of you watching at home, we did pre-roll a few things before the session started, and both Josh and Joe have used their void points for the session during a pre-game deal. So,
I got an 8.
8. What everybody else get?
17.
6.
3.
Ooh.
Do I want to use a void point? I don't want to be unconscious for this fight.
No.
Oh, we came
It's
in
not.
unaware and we didn't bash. It's more of.
The only person that notices this is Mubo.
Yes, I'd save that for.
The odor you are smelling is not unlike a smelting pot. They're melting something down.
Hurry.
Did we just catch them red-handed making fake currency?
That or they're trying to destroy evidence. 'Cause remember, that seal was not exactly digestible material.
So, and there are people scurrying about trying to leave. So,
Do I go into Moto Rage and
well, you're now in initiative, so
Yeah.
go ahead and make your initiative rolls.
Go Moto.
This is the only roll we don't use Fulang for.
Correct.
And
What's your reflexes?
2?
Roll 2 dice.
Roll the dice. I still have something. I've got
again, Fulang doesn't matter for a minute. It's the only time.
Yeah, initiative, it doesn't matter.
it.
Marty will come in eventually.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and get mine or wait?
Your initiative?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll it, but you're not going to get it yet.
7.
Did you hand me that die,
Yeah.
Josh? Because it went right over.
Get my low rolls out of the way now.
6 for me.
Okay.
9 for me.
I got
Did
the
you grab a couple?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
8 couple.
so
My bad.
Did I get the high roll for once?
Just in case.
Yeah.
Remember.
So
Moto Rage!
Mubo has what?
6.
And Shige?
7.
And Ryu when I bring him in?
8. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
9. Sorry. There's an 8 on the.
And Saya?
11.
Okay. And I got to roll for Markov.
Is that our bunny? Or is that the...
Markov is the
Russian.
Usaran that's with you.
Sorry.
Yeah, because the hair's with us, right?
Yes. Markov
Can she see?
rolls a 16. And
Chase Hare towards enemy.
and Usagi rolls a 26.
Go, Rebo.
Yeah, just point her in the direction. Let her go.
As it turns out, reflexes is one of the things that Hare do. Okay.
Kick early, kick often.
But since the bad guys were expecting you,
Oh, here they come.
they're going to go first. We are dealing with... Yeah, that seems like a reasonable number. So...
Don't leave us in suspense.
TN to be hit for Mubo.
11 to be.
It's your reflexes times 5 plus 5.
10.
Okay. Do you have defense?
I do.
At what?
Rank 1.
Okay. Not enough to matter.
Nope.
Well, lucky for you, one guy charges you unarmed,
Traps.
swing and a miss. He throws a punch at you, and you deftly duck out of the way of it. Another one comes by right behind him, throwing a kick, and he actually connects.
He's used to a taller opponent.
Body part?
Somebody roll the D-body part.
It's only fair to take the damage.
He kicks you in the dick! He pulls a Shinsuke Nakamura on you. Oh!
So you take 4 points of damage. It was mostly the inner thigh,
But it was too close to
but it was enough for you to know where he was. Alright.
It's gonna be that kind of fight.
And we have set the tone early.
Had I thought about it, and this is
Warming
something
up.
you and I both could have thought of, and we didn't. We could have entered into this initially in defense, but we didn't think of that stance.
What's your
10.
10. First one swings at you with a club and misses. Second one does not miss with his club. D-body part?
Leg!
Working the leg, working the leg.
You take 3 points of damage as he clips you in the leg.
It's okay.
Okay,
You got this, monkey girl.
The monkey is stout.
so, alright. And now for Saya.
So it was reflexes times 5 plus
Plus
5.
five.
So 10, 15.
Okay.
Reflexes.
Yep, reflexes is good. Ooh.
Damn it. I've had the stats, but the dice has just not been.
First one.
Welcome to L5R. That happens all too often.
If between them 10s exploding when they're trying to hit you and damage you, you'd prefer they roll it to hit you and
Yeah,
not when
you
they,
really
they,
would.
They hurt you.
So roll the D-body part.
Rig.
Leg.
Okay.
Right leg.
3 points of damage.
Yeah. To be fair,
Do I put it in English?
current.
Okay,
Yep.
3.
And then the second one coming after you is going to miss.
Back when I was playing the Sheer, he wasn't the most skilled at quarter staff.
Miss the
But
Hare.
one of his things he could do is
Surprise.
bless people. So
Nice
he'd have
eye.
more dice to roll because he'd bless himself. And on like 9 keep 3, I'd be missing easy targets all the time.
Okay.
The dice have a way of just deciding things.
So what happened to the hair?
The Hare got missed a lot,
Reflexes.
as did Markov.
Well,
Markov was more parrying people with his shield.
I was about to say he's a pro.
He probably has the best armor out of anyone in this combat.
And odd or even, Sam?
Odd.
Odd. One of them takes a swing and hits the cat.
I didn't. Do I have any fooling points or something?
No, you do, but I'm not cashing them in this session. I'm leaving that to you people at home for next time.
He hit the cat. Imagine what that's going to do to him.
While the cat's on the... So basically, he hit the cat and the dog's sitting there like at waist level.
That's
That's why the odd or even. It was, oh, the
Does it hit
GM
the
has
dog
hit
or the
one
cat?
of them,
Yeah.
and then
And the cat's like, why me?
He's not gonna like that.
She clips the cat, and the cat lands on her feet and starts hissing.
Okay, good. I was about to say that, like, mood
But the
rage,
cat does
can I
take
go-
damage.
Can I go into mood or rage yet?
Cat mood over.
So,
Yes. I mean, I dove through a window.
Usagi and Markov will hold their actions. So that makes you first.
Sweet. What do I do?
There are two people standing in front of you,
And one of them hits you.
and one of them hits you. He's got a club. The
Not
other one is
all, I'm
unarmed.
pissed.
Is the one with the club, did he hit the cat?
Oh no.
No, damn it. Okay. Let's go after Club Guy first, because he's more of a threat.
Okay. So, what are you armed with?
My Wakahazwada.
Wakazashi.
That thing.
Okay. So, do you have Kinjitsu?
Kinjitsu? Yes.
Okay.
It is a range
Told you.
2.
Fighting against
Okay.
catching.
2.
That's
Your
awesome.
agility is a
3.
3.
Yes.
So, you are rolling 5, keep 3.
Sweet.
High is good.
Okay, so we got, what is that?
That's
A 9,
There's another 9.
18, plus 2. Sorry, that was a 1, so that's 25.
I mean, you can keep. You don't
Oh,
have to
wait.
keep the ones.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Take away 1, so 24.
Yeah, you only keep 3 of them.
3 of them? Damn it.
Yes.
So keep your 3 highest.
23, yeah.
23. Okay.
Pretty good.
23 is really good.
23 is good. 23 hits. Okay, so damage on a Wakazashi on its own is 2, keep 2. But what is your strength?
My strength is a 1.
Okay, so that adds 1 to how many dice you roll. So you're going to roll 3 and keep 2.
Roll 3. 2. So I got a 14.
Solid,
14?
Solid hit.
And roll the D body part.
Freaking hand!
The hand with the club.
One cannot wield club if one does not have a hand.
Yeah.
Freaking
And he
chopped
does.
off his hand.
Yes, you did.
The fleet of the fallen tiger.
Alright. So, that's going to. I'm going to go ahead and let Usagi go.
Stabby, stabby, stabby.
Shank, shank.
Shank, 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 shank.
Let's see here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, she is 6, keep 3 on her Wakazashi roll.
Come on, little bunny.
Bunny the good.
I suppose I could stop at 27, but let's see what the 2 10s say.
She decimates her foe.
27, 36, 46,
Should have declared raises.
51. What's somebody roll a D body part for her, please.
4 hit.
Right arm. Yeah, shoulder area, right arm. So.
Keep 2, so that's 20.
Can we join her to our team?
Uh,
Can we keep her?
35. She takes the dude's shoulder off with her Wakazashi. So that's 2 down.
So I found a new sensei and I found a best friend. I love it.
Okay.
You just collect everyone, no matter what they.
It's
what
raining.
To be
Good.
fair, pretty much like you claim that everyone you meet this new is your best friend.
Yes.
Shige, you're up.
It's like, Toku says when you strike with authority, taking a raise for damage.
Okay.
Because I can only take 1 raise.
You can only take 1 raise, you're right.
May the swords be with you.
Yes. Swords. Yup.
Yes. Yes.
28.
Well, I can only keep 2.
Oh, okay.
Because of my
Yeah.
agility. 27.
Okay, D body parts is
Leg.
leg.
So she's not good. She's basically just like. He's like.
Okay, what's your strength?
It is a 1.
Okay, so 3 keep 2, add 5 to whatever you roll.
It looks like Monkey Python. It's just a flesh wound. Really fighting.
Oh, no, none of these bugs are going to go tis, just a flesh one.
14 damage.
14. That person is down and not really moving around overly well.
You hit an artery.
And Markov will go.
Splitting waves.
1, 2, his skill, he's a 4 in his axe, and he's a 3 agility, so... He's going to roll 7, keep 3.
I need bigger hands to roll all these dice.
Good problem to have.
He will hit.
Hopefully.
Needing to
And-
go day in, day out makes a man very strong.
So the axe that he has, if I recall correctly, is a 3. No, it's a 4, keep 3. And then his strength is 4. Okay.
El Caban.
Yes. 10.
I believe the
19.
apropos term is rooter to tutor.
Rooter to tutor.
Somebody want to roll the D body part?
Yeah, let's do it. Whoop, whoop, Rig.
It was.
Yes, we're just taking like
He literally swings with his axe and takes both legs clean off.
we didn't come to defeat. We came to maim.
Well, they can't talk if they're dead.
They can still talk mission body.
Oh, mine's still
Mubo,
alive. He's just not moving.
You're up.
You said some of them looked like they were trying to escape. Is there another door in this room?
Yes, there are numerous other doors. You're essentially in what amounts to a warehouse.
Numerous other doors is a problem. If it was only one, I could blockade it and be okay. Do they look like they're scurrying to different doors? Or are they all trying to go mostly in one?
There are different people scurrying to different doors, but they are also all scurrying around a central area before they head out, as if they're carrying things.
Right.
The loot. Get the loot.
Mubo is going to...
There is a concentration of people around one area.
Mubo is going to attempt to... Like, does it look like a platform, or does that look like where the smell that I'm smelling is coming from?
Perception check.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Actually, one of these should be the 2 lang, just for check for lang. 7. Excuse me. 9.
9.
I got to keep both of those.
The smell is definitely coming from what they're surrounding. There's so many people between the two of you, though, that just trying to get to that area will take your round. Because you're going to have to make a defense roll to get past everybody.
Yeah.
For the record, Shinshu and Natalia will go on the same action.
Right?
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna laugh at like you roll. The cat rolls like head, and attaches itself to the.
I will assume a warding stance, aka defense stance, as I attempt to make my way to prevent them from, grabbing everything.
Okay, so go ahead and make your defense check first to see how that improves your defense.
Is it possible, am I still occupied with my third dude, or can I run to help defend him?
It'll have to be your next action.
You still have one dude that's unarmed.
18, because I don't have the emphasis in defense yet.
Okay, 18. You pass your defense check, so you're going to go up by 9 on your TN to be hit for this round. That's not normally the way defense works, but because you guys are so low, that's what I'm going to do for you guys. Normally, it would just add your defense skill and your air rank to your TN to be hit. I'm giving you a half-assed version of full defense. So, because your stats are not overly high. And then, make a defense check to get through people.
No.
Hi, that's a very similar roll.
Ow!
11.
Oh,
11?
The worst explosion in this game.
You get through. You're able to weave through most everybody. And as you get close, you see a large fire with a. You can actually see there is a pot, earthenware pot, and there are a number of receptacles that metal would be poured into.
And is that what the folks are grabbing? Are the molds, effectively?
Yes. While other people are hurriedly putting out the fire and trying to dump as much as they can. So,
Yeah.
somebody roll the D body part for the cat and dog duo.
Rig.
So basically, Shinchu gets up a full head of steam and body checks one dude in the knee and just takes his legs out from under him.
Yeah.
So,
I thought that we were on
while the cat recovers.
Galliford.
Speaking of cats, suddenly I have cats all over me. Sweepy's like, "Oh, your foot makes a nice resting place," and Duncan's on my lap.
Okay.
Bit jealous.
Galliford the White Ninja.
So, you have been under guard. Word of the accusations against you got out. From an authority higher than Toku Kenji, guards were placed on your door and you were placed under house arrest. You have not been allowed to leave without an Imperial escort. Toku Kenji, as an Emerald Magistrate, feels that an Emerald Magistrate would qualify as an Imperial escort. So he's recalled Soshi Hamura back to the Academy, and Hamura and yourself have been basically trying to find the location of Ujina Joe. Through information and searches and whatnot, has led you to a small warehouse. Hamura is searching elsewhere in the general vicinity, but suggests that you check this warehouse, which seems to be otherwise abandoned. When you approach the door, there is a strange odor and a lot of commotion coming from inside.
Well, I think I'm going to go stealth mode.
Okay. What all are you carrying with you?
Well, I'm assuming I hadn't been unarmed. Do I still have my...
You
Your honor?
Yes, you still have your wakizashi.
All right.
But is there anything else in particular you are wearing, you bring with you? You got your mask, okay.
Other than that,
The deadly fan.
never underestimate a good fan. And if I had a nice Jingasa, I'd put that mug on too.
Who knows? You might have one by the end of this.
Okay.
So add 1, keep 0 to myself. I'm gonna I think that's normal. I didn't have time to put my armor on for this, so I had to run around my regular.
Here's a hint. None of us have armor on right
I'm
now.
just saying.
Yeah.
The camps are a fur piece.
Yep. So
There would be no need for you to have your armor during the test.
Yeah. It's actually more for something for you to put on after you become a samurai.
Yeah. So you're trying to stealth your way in?
yeah.
Okay.
13.
13. Okay. So what are you doing?
He's a shadow.
Ease the door.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing what's
The white shadow.
see what's going on as I ease the door open.
So on the far end of this storage house, you see silhouetted, because there's light pouring in through a back door, you see people engaged in combat. The only things that strike you as odd is apparently somebody let some animals loose. And somebody, you imagine that there's probably a crab in here somewhere, because there's a big dude with an even bigger axe.
Now I know Hamura-san is in the area.
He's in the area, correct. You also see a pot in the middle of the room with people hurriedly trying to put out a fire and carrying elements of things from around the pot away and scurrying in different directions. And from here on out, you're in the initiative round where you would normally be.
Alright, let's see. stealth in the building. I can't holler for him or I'll give myself away.
Split some wigs.
I was about to say make the cooing noise. Cocoon.
No, make the crane go. Has the crane sound.
I can't make a scorpion sound. I mean, come on.
Scorpions make sound.
Ish.
I'm gonna get my defense going.
Okay.
And wait for them to come towards me, and if I'm going to. That's why I'm going to ease forward, keep going the defensive, and at an opportune moment, I'm going to scare the out of somebody.
Okay. So go ahead and roll defense. For the record, you are the last person to act in this round. So if you go full defense, there's actually no penalty to do that.
Okay.
So normally if you go defense, then you don't get to attack, and you're kind of stuck in not doing crap for the rest of the round. But if you don't do crap for the rest of the round, who cares, because you're the last guy in the round.
9.
9? Alright, so that was your defense check? Okay, so
You roll a lot of low dice.
Okay.
So your defense 9, so you're going to add 9 to your TN to be hit for the round. Okay. So you hear, at this point you hear a voice. Get that out of here now! Somebody deal with these children! And it's a man standing on top of a set of steps that lead up to a second level of the warehouse, shouting orders down. He has the Jingasa on.
Can we point the bunny in his direction? Say fetch.
Go look at his face.
And she's like, I can only see so many feet.
Yeah. She's still very nearsighted.
She's the best we got.
But
besides her 6 foot.
But he's got the nice Jingasa on, so on and so forth. There is very little doubt that this is the person you encountered in the alleyway.
Well, I was thinking the reason I said the bunny is because so far she seems the fastest, despite being nearsighted.
I mean, you could.
So, I don't know. Y'all, hello.
Y'all could suggest that you
Oh,
go
we're
after
gonna
him.
stick the bunny on the bus.
You
The
could.
final
I'm
boss.
thinking more, don't let them get away with molds.
I got an idea.
What?
No, Shige's gonna try some shit on her turn.
Because right now we're thinking of talking, which is the whole one thing we can do out of turn.
You see Shige start to stretch.
Okay.
She's gonna be bouncing around somewhere.
More to you and the Hare that we know and
Well,
Markov.
I'm gonna need some direction here because hello, Budo Rage.
Yeah. Well,
Y'all
in the
figure
name
out
of
y'all's
the
plan real
Empress,
quick.
keep them here.
Keep them here? Okay, cool.
They're trying to abscond with evidence.
How fast am I? How many people can I take down?
How many people can you take down?
I'm basically in a berserker rage right now.
Oh, you see Shige looking, she's just like, when you bring justice, make it crash like thunder.
Like, because the owl boy has given me direction. Basically, keep as many people here.
The owl.
Yeah, I don't remember your names, I'm sorry.
Mubo.
Mubo. Okay.
Yeah, Mubo is also by the pot where the molds are, and he's about to start wrecking mugs trying to get that stuff.
So
Not be the same mugs trying to hit him, though. That's the downside.
So do you want me to come help you, or do you want me to go chase after the stragglers?
Actually, as you hear
Oh, he said
you
what he
hear
said,
Shige,
got
it's
you.
like you hear Shige. I've got Mubo.
You got Mubo. Okay. So I'm chasing the stragglers again. So how many people can I take down in my berserker rage?
okay, so to answer the question here,
That'd be good.
Like to go.
one. To be perfectly honest, one, because
you can't raise high enough for
yeah,
extra attack.
you have enough void to get one raise, and to get extra attack would take 5.
Do any of these attempting to escape? Do any of them, lack for better terms, look more suspicious than the others? Like more obvious? Hey,
No.
no, they're all the same.
Yeah.
They're all grunts.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly you're looking for people carrying stuff.
Alrighty. Is there one relatively close to me carrying something?
Relatively, you could clear the
one guy in front of you.
Well, no, there's one in front of you that missed horribly, and is off balance enough that you could get past them, and to someone else reasonably close by. By the way, just so you will know what you can do with the number of raises you have, you can call your shot. To call your shot, you're calling a specific limb, so arm or leg. That's as detailed as you can get. You can call increased damage, which I did as just a generic +5. Normally it's actually, which is what I thought it was. It's +1 keep 0. For the purpose of this session, we're going to keep it as +5 because, frankly, that's better for you. And guard you can do for 0 raises. If you declare a guard action, basically what happens is you are making it's a simple action, which means you can take one other simple action. You can guard and attack, as an example, for what we're doing here. I take that back. You can guard and do something else, but you can't attack. But if you do guard somebody and they're within a certain number of feet of you, then that person gets +10 to their TN to be hit. You get -5 to yours. So it becomes easier to hit you and harder to hit the person you're guarding.
Do any of, am I able to notice in my rage, am I able to notice the situations of my companions, or am I just...
You're not that far gone. We're not talking Berserker Rage.
Okay, fine. Take all the fun away.
Well, no, I mean, you can see, these are your compatriots, your friends, so yes, you can see the state they're in.
In any immediate danger, like they don't see something coming at them, like
they about to get dry gulched.
Yeah.
Not yet.
The way they definitely would be.
Okay, fine. Then I'm gonna focus on one of the people trying to run away with something, that they're carrying something.
Okay.
And I'm looking to just cripple.
Okay. Cripple is good.
I don't want to kill them yet.
Yeah.
If you don't want to kill them, don't necessarily keep all 10s.
On damage?
On damage, basically, if you hit them, go for lower damage.
Yeah.
Or you can make it harder on yourself and call a shot to specifically hit them in a limb.
I was aiming for like a leg.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can actually call shot a leg.
Okay, so that's what I'll do. So how do I go about doing it?
So what you're going to do is you're going to say call shot leg.
Call shot leg.
And it is now 5 points harder for you to hit them. So it's actually going to be a harder roll to hit.
Fantastico.
But you also have the best Kinjutsu, I think, in the group. Outside of possibly Ryo. So
it's a rank 2 plus...
Are you rolling 5, keep 3?
Roll 5, keep 2, but I have emphasis katana. So.
Okay, so you're statistically better, yeah.
So roll 5.
Wait, the monkey
Emphasis
takes...
katana, we have Wakizashi.
Oh, yeah, whoops.
True, so that means Jack.
I have emphasis Wakizashi.
So what you got?
So I'm assuming I'm rolling 5, keep 3? Okay.
Agility 3, katana 2,
Oh, yeah.
or Kinjutsu 2?
Kinjutsu is a 2, agility is 3.
Yep, so you're right, rolling 5, keep 3.
Keep 3. I got an 8.
He's 9.
9 and a 4.
That's what, 21?
21.
You hit.
Blackjack.
Yeah. Take out his kneecap.
Okay, roll your damage.
Oh, wait.
You don't have to roll the D-body part because you called your shot.
Okay.
It is normally 2 keep 2, and then add your strength as an extra die, so it's going to be 3 keep 2.
Yeah.
So I've got a 9 and a 4.
13.
Okay. Yeah, you pretty much take his leg out from him.
So,
Because none of these mugs are armored either. So, alright. So that is going to be you. The Hare goes next.
Come on, buddy girl.
come on, buddy.
And she basically spends the round closing distance with the guy up on the second level.
Boss man.
So that is her action. So that's going to bring us to Markov, and Markov runs up alongside the two of you, and basically says, "Do what you need to do. Markov has back. Markov assumes guard on both of you. So your TNs to be hit are now both jacked up by 10.
Word.
That's good. That's really
His TN to be hit just dropped by 10, 5 each.
Something
good.
says
He can
he's
take
still
it-
pretty
he can
hard to
take a
hit.
better than we can.
Yeah.
That too.
Don't kill off my sensei.
What you missed is that Markov was actually part of. Were you here when in the old country he was part of the Zarena's guard?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I got that. Good. Cool,
Okay.
cool, cool, cool.
I just found my master. Come on.
I have an
Don't
idea.
kill him.
Okay. Well, the bad guys are going to go real quick. Several of them anyway.
Protect him.
So your respective TNs to be hit are now 20. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm 29
You're 29.
because I haven't acted
Yeah, 'cause
yet
you
this
haven't
round,
acted
so
yet.
I saw my defense.
So
Mine's sky high.
1.
Although if you roll sends, it don't matter.
No. No.
There's a lot
So
of
3 people try to attack you and miss on Shige.
Did you bounce another?
Because she's bobbing and weaving and big Usar and shield.
That's 1 miss on Mubo, 2 miss on Mubo, 3 miss on Mubo.
Big Russian helps.
Markov is everywhere.
A dance of sword and axe is like a duck under the axe. Or
So
takes
the
a
two
blow.
kids are like all like bobbing and weaving and juking and jiving and thugging and bugging.
Pairing.
Okay.
Pairing is a thing.
Okay. And anyone that would be trying to attack you also misses on Saya.
Sweet.
And there are a handful of people making their run for the door closest to you, and it is your action, Reo. So.
Okay. So what? Is there like shelving or anything around, or is it just an open warehouse?
It's pretty much an open storage house.
Dang it.
Above you, there is a walkway that basically goes along the edge of the warehouse. It's probably 10 feet up.
No.
The stance sheet.
That's a bit high.
The stance sheet.
Yes, I do.
Actually, yes, that's a good point. Because what I want to do, I think center stance might be better.
Well, center stance wouldn't give you the buff until next round.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to forfeit actions for 1 turn, and then you gain +1, keep 1 plus void
So,
bonus to your next turn.
I have a Gerard
But your
running
initiative
towards me.
is +10.
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't see you, but he's running towards you.
Trip him up.
I can see that one here now.
Just get out of the
His hands are full, and he's trying to get out the door.
He's not gonna make it.
Go crazy! Okay. Are you going to use your Iajitsu to attack him?
That's what I do.
All right. Make an
Bird's
Iajitsu
gotta
roll.
fly.
Alright.
Crane's got a flap at 20.
Since you are not rolling against someone, it's going to be Iajitsu agility instead of reflexes.
Same.
He's good.
Okay.
$12.
12.
Yeah, keep 2 of them.
He's unawares. You hit him. Roll the D-body part.
Forehead. Give me the
Sorry.
forehead.
Shoulder.
Oh,
Is
Okay.
this thing loaded?
No, it is not loaded.
it's just that the limbs are
Oh, there's
You're
There's-
in center mass.
There's more spots on the limbs than there are anything else. All right, so go ahead and roll damage.
Strength is 2.
All right, so it's 4 keep 2.
What is that? 15.
Yep. 15.
15? You take his shoulder off.
We got so many body parts everywhere.
When he falls, make a perception check.
Okay.
Do you have any form of investigation?
I have perception. And I don't have acting.
So what you roll?
7.
7.
It don't take much because you've seen part of it before. A completed Imperial Koku die falls out the door.
Out the door.
Dive bomb on top of it.
I think I need to get that before someone passes by and gets that.
At least stand over it.
Yes, I will go retrieve it as so a homeboy that I put the chop on is
Mm-hmm.
done. As I go
Down
to
if not dead.
as I go to the door, I'm going to yell back into the room, "Freeze, Imperial Legion!"
Act like it.
Do you have any version of acting?
I have courtier.
Do you have deceit?
Have sincerity.
You sincerely believe
Do
he's
you believe that
acting-
you're a legionnaire?
Actually, well, Imperial Legion is a bit much. I am on the direct orders of an Imperial Magistrate, so I can yell Imperial Magistrate and still be sincere about it.
Make a sincerity check.
Marty is performing Martin magic.
Well, I only get 2 keep 1 on this, so I'm gonna do the best I can.
There you go.
Let's see. I got a 6. It was worth an effort. It was worth a shot.
It really wasn't. Not when you roll a 6. Let's see here. All right. You rolled a what? A 6.
Mm-hmm. Yep, not gonna work.
Well, they might roll real low.
I was gonna say
It
depends on if Mubo believes him at this
Yeah.
point.
He did. I will say he did try to deepen his voice because he knows he's a youngster.
Right. Here's what you hear.
Uh-oh.
You hear a booming voice scream. What was it you said?
Freeze, Imperial Magistrate.
We're gonna say halt, but you hear halt, Imperial Magistrate, and it is a deep, booming, authoritative voice.
We're the only ones that believe it.
About half of the people that are on the ground drop what they're carrying and bolt. The guy up on the rafters with Usagi.
Bunny girl, don't kill her.
Oop, crap! I went down. So he is. Where's his stats again? Where you at, boss man? There you are. 1, 2,
Well,
3,
Leader of Gruntsman.
4, 5,
Mastermind in him.
6.
Yeah.
Alright. He's 6 keep 3.
He's the boss of this level.
Mid-boss of the campaign.
Stand your ground, you worms.
Okay, her TNB hit is 25. He gets to re-roll these.
Hopefully it'll be at least a distraction.
Alright. What's his strength? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Strength will swap him.
And, so that you realize what you're dealing with, he spends a void point for damage.
Down goes the wagon.
Yeah.
He's going to cause the rage.
Somebody roll a D body part.
Yep, Martin's turn.
Shoulder.
It's a day for arms. A federal to arms. Oh.
Oh, Lord, really, John?
Yeah.
No!
Which arm is it?
Right
Left.
one. Left?
Yeah, left arm.
Because you're facing the body, so it's the...
Yeah.
That's the
So,
You're facing the body?
yeah, so is that the left arm or the right arm? Okay, so it's the right arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Flipping it around.
one swift motion, he draws the sword as she's in midair, comes up underneath her arm. It doesn't take the arm off, but it slices through and she falls to the ground, never actually makes it to the platform. It does not take a roll by anyone to realize That was a very practiced Iaijutsu cut.
So don't get into a duel with the mid boss.
I'm not.
It's not advised.
And he is. He does kind of look down. Huh. I know her. And he turns and is walking off. He disappears into the shadows.
Still on the second floor.
Yes. So, there's still about a small half a dozen people and people trying to get out. So, what are you two doing at this point?
How many are still at the press around, like, in that big scrum that's in front of the molds now?
Probably 4 at this point. Most people have broken run, dropping everything. Unless you're going to make pursuit, they're getting away.
The ones that are getting the molds, I'm going to basically take a running leap and try to cannonball into that group of people in front of the molds.
Interesting.
Okay.
Beats my initiative. I'm going to see what happens from that.
So you're just basically trying to mosh pit them?
Tope suicida!
Okay.
Since this does not match any potential combat maneuver ever witnessed in Rokugan,
It's more like just an athletics.
Athletics agility. You are throwing yourself at them.
Too bad you don't sell a void point, because this is athletics check, and I know something you got.
If I had a void point, I would be using Daredevil on this, but
Exactly.
I don't, so...
Can I give him my void point?
No,
They don't work that way.
You have to be a super specific kind of Sugenji to be able to give void points.
I was going to say, I'm Daredevil and everything. Come on.
Ugh, no, I crash and burn.
What'd you roll?
I got a 6.
You got a 6?
Yeah.
You can't really miss an attack like this.
Okay.
So it's a question of how effective were you.
You land among them.
You wind up taking out one and making another one stumble. So one is stumbling, one is down, the other 2 are still doing their thing and gathering stuff up.
Instead of a...
You do notice the one that you take down, something falls out of its hand. It is a complete Imperial Koku die.
Instead of a Tope Suicida, it's more of a Death Press.
You said...
So you're up.
So, of the 3 that are standing, one of which stumbling, do they all have something in their hands as well?
Yes. Hard to tell what.
Where's the dog and the cat?
The dog and the cat are, at this point, basically chasing down anyone that's trying to run.
Barf! 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 Barf!
Well,
So tell the cat, get down!
Shinshu knows what he's doing, so I don't have to worry about that. So
Basically, at this point,
dogs
they're-
know who-
basically at this point, they're making sure that anyone that's running runs.
Well, I was just going to say if they weren't doing anything, they could come and help out Mubo.
Mubo casts a half glance up to the imposing figure that is Markov, right next to him. Takedowns.
I'm going to run to the Hare.
And he switches into full attack.
I'm like,
Wait a
Because God knows I have a hard time hitting right now with my stats.
Okay.
And I will go and try and take out one of the ones that's standing upright. The stumbling guy probably isn't going to make it as far than the others. Where's the fooling guy? Thank you. +2 key
Just
points.
imagine Mara Ranello, like, commentating on the fight. And Markov with all of iron!
Oh my God, he's broken in half.
Oh my God, the monkey is flying!
Keep an extra one. 22 to hit.
22.
24 because I have an emphasis and I did not need to reroll any once.
Okay.
Not that that probably matters, but you know.
Okay, so, roll the D-body part.
Headshot!
That's a takedown.
Roll your damage.
Damage does not change from that, right?
It does. What you physically roll does not. Basically, you're going to...
Decapitate.
I only only get no, I get to keep damage rating, right?
Yeah.
27 before whatever headshot bonus.
Yeah, it's 54.
Yeah, decapitate.
Yeah, so
Decapitation!
Just thunk. You see Momo just kind of shift from this defensive warding stance, and as if putting his words to practice and making someone very proud, even though he's not present, to bash him upside the head with the glove. Straight horizontal.
As you hear the voice of Kawak and Yarrow. Yeah. Kick his ass!
Okay, so you take that one's head. Alright. When he drops, a loose bit of basically paper pulled tightly into being a sack drops, and if you had to eyeball a guess, it's probably close to 50 koku hit the ground.
And more than likely counterfeit. Given where we are.
Quite possibly.
But that's for a later examination.
It certainly does look freshly minted. So. Here, has a character sheet.
Ken has character sheet.
Okay.
So that's one knockdown, one stumbling, one still up, but hey, I have a big friendly bear.
Some monkey flew! Alright.
And the owl struck.
And I'm pretty sure you probably didn't land too well there.
I landed well enough.
About this point, you hear another voice come from the far end of the room, which startles even you, Rio. Like, you did hear my man say halt. When you turn around, Soshi Hamura is behind you. With his
Evidence, I got it.
with one hand resting on the hilt of his katana, and the other one, on his collar, emphasizing the seal of an Emerald Magistrate.
I wasn't lying.
And everyone that was running basically, they stop. So, now what? We are effectively out of initiative.
I've run over to the Hare. I'm the only one with medicine.
Okay. She is losing blood. She is losing blood quickly.
Yes.
Make a medicine roll.
My medicine is rank 1, trait plus 2.
Okay, so you're going to roll 3, keep 2.
3, keep 2. Yeah. I know.
I'd eventually come to assist you, but I have another plan in mind.
3, keep. Oh.
6.
6. I put pressure on her.
You're not doing any harm. You are.
You're holding the blood in.
Yeah.
You're not. Basically, you're not. You're not helping, but you're not hurting.
Okay.
Very weakly, she does tell you. I know him.
Crap. Alright, so
Well,
did I...
she's rushing up to the Hare.
Mm-hmm.
I whistle to get Shinshu's attention
Mm-hmm.
and say, Tashir, fetch. And
He
then I
halts.
go up to assist for the medicine, because I actually also have medicine.
Okay. So you go ahead and make a medicine check. What's other people doing?
I go around and
There he is. Take it. We need
basically
to save her.
going around just to all the guys that are effectively using since I have
12
rope
fooling point.
in my traveling, but basically hog tying,
Okay.
restraining thugs.
Can I take one of his foolings?
No.
No.
Question,
Yes.
did that help, or would that have counted as a failed roll?
No. You've helped.
I almost would have preferred failing at that point.
You have stopped the flow of blood. It's going to take an effort to actually patch her up, but
Right.
It's like counterfeit is bad. Slaps him on the back of the head. Counterfeit is bad. Slaps him on the head.
Hamura Hamra comes into the room, looking around. What is Rio doing?
Following his lead.
Okay. Again, Hamra walks into the room.
Like gathering all the ones who aren't down and dying.
Looks at. Uh-huh. He goes, I see some very rich people. And I see one of the dye did not get pulled away from the smelting area. And some reasonable craftsmen at that.
What's a Russian dude doing?
He's just kind of standing there at the moment, surveying the situation and keeping an eye out.
Sweet.
Although Markov, Hammer says, Markov?
Of course he does, Markov.
Forgive me, camera folk. I'm going to stand for a while.
And Markov just sits there and goes, Da. You'll be by tomorrow for your order? Of course. Da. So, what happened to our young Hare?
A man she knows basically cut her down while she was trying to stop him from getting away.
The same man in the fine Jingasa we reported to you before.
Mm-hmm.
Although she apparently knows him.
Yes.
Then we get her back, we stabilize her, and we get a name.
Tashir should be nearby. I sent my hound to catch him.
Well, then that will stabilize her. Where did he go?
He walked into the shadows wherever
We're on the second floor.
Yeah.
That's where the hair got cut down from.
No, the hair got cut out of the air
Oh.
and fell back to the base floor.
Then Muo kind of points up onto the second floor, as you say, stepped into the shadows.
You see him start thinking. You can actually see the wheels turning Hammer's head.
See a tiny little scorpion.
Yes.
Turn.
Yes, you and you with me.
Hi.
And he bolts up the stairs.
Sweet.
As he's basically bolting up the stairs, you can hear him saying, he couldn't carry someone across the roof. As if he's trying to convince himself. When you get up to the top, there is a small office type room. He immediately boots the door in. No pretense of anything. And what you see on the ground, face down, bloody,
Morgan.
wounded. Do this. There we go. What you see face
Somebody made
down.
it work.
What you see face down, bloody, wounded, with his arm hanging on by a thread.
It seems to be a common theme with this guy.
This game.
That too.
From here, there basically is a cut here at the bicep that has nearly taken the arm off. From here down is gone.
Awesome.
Left arm
But-
or right arm?
Left arm. But is wearing the attire of a Hare clan samurai. You see this? Find Tashir now. He has 2 patients.
We found our wild hair.
And we will pause there for a quick break. You folks that watching this on VOD will not notice, but I have to rearrange the camera for things. So 2 seconds. We'll be back.
there is any.
Hopefully it will not be like anything
Why
too
are you
expensive.
dumping on my shoes?
I mean, we didn't really hear any of the hail, so while it might have broken a bowl, it probably isn't doing anything harsh.
I like
You might have some light,
can't
like maybe light
can't-
indentations, if that.
Alright.
Okay, here we go.
It's all a question of severity.
5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, folks, we're back. We have now been joined by Judy, and Marty didn't get to introduce himself when he showed up, but Marty's here too. So, just so everybody knows at home who y'all are playing, go ahead and give them a reminder. Marty?
Kakino Rio.
Hiromi Bayushi.
Okay. Now, for you folks at home, remember one of the things I said when we kicked things off for this video was that I would tell you how to win a copy of Smash Up somewhere during the video. Here is the somewhere during the video. If you would like to win a copy of Smash Up, the shuffle building game from the folks at AEG, it is very, very simple. All you need to do is in the comments of this video, since this video is not being done live, thanks, we have found out not just simply that the internet here is garbage, but there's a really bad storm coming through and it has affected our ISP. So for that reason, since our internet is trash for the day, any hashtags that you guys put in the comments section to help our players will carry over to our next session for them. And believe me, they will need it. So, what you can do is if you leave hashtag Spirit of Void, hashtag Kami are with you, or hashtag Fooling's Will, because you just want to screw with somebody. Remember, if you say Fooling's Will, you do have to tell us which character you're affecting with it. If you leave any of those hashtags, or if you leave hashtag Act Like It, though know that it will not do what you see it saying on screen right now. There's going to be a new extra buff hashtag for our next session.
Extra buff.
Yes. Yes.
You're a beautiful studio audience.
Yes. But if it's, there'll be an additional buff hashtag there. But if you leave any of those hashtags for our players between now and we're going to say, let's see here. Let's go ahead and figure out when the next session will be while we are chatting. Let's see if I can not make it Mother's Day like I tried to last time. So any Sundays I need to avoid since my wife is in the room.
Mother's
in June,
Day.
What
That
day?
would be the 17th.
That would be the 17th. How's the 24th?
I'll get back to you.
As long as it's not the 23rd. Remember, we're having a pure romance party.
Yes. Okay.
So 24th should be fine.
Is the 24th good for everybody in the room?
As far as I know, at the
Put in for it
moment,
now.
Put up
Okay.
for it, so who knows?
we'll try to make that work.
So,
I'm off the 10th.
Though I would have. You said no on the 10th?
No, I said I'm off the 10th.
I would actually suggest the 10th because,
we want to do the 10th
yes, well, that also puts us less likely for me to deliver during.
during the session. That's,
Oh,
that's fair.
yeah, that's
That
Yeah, so-
you go for end of the month thing and you might have to interrupt
So-
it to go take me to the hospital.
So June 10th. So if you leave a hashtag with any of this stuff in it
Realistic.
between now and June 9th, you will be entered in the drawing to win a copy of Smash Up. Of course, anyone connected to Geek Carolina, if you are a guest or host of our shows, you are not allowed to enter. So none of us are going to sit here. It's not going to be one of those when you know who won the pony moments. But we're not giving away a pony, Sam. I'm sorry. But we will be giving that away in a drawing during our live stream on June 10th. So leave your hashtag and help our players by June 9th if you want a chance to win. So with that said, we will return to our game. So, at this point, Soshi Hamura has had a crack team of magistrates basically clear out that storage building and that storage house. They have found 4 counterfeit Imperial Koku dies and approximately 220 counterfeit coins. There's evidence that it's been going on for a little while, but they were not able to locate the actual original Koku die that all of these counterfeits were made off of. Because these molds are extremely good. They are basically exact copies of the original.
The one, the one that the cat swallowed, was that an original or was that a...
That was part of an original.
Which
So,
is why he was so keen to cut it in half.
yeah. Now, the two Hare, Kamahime and Ujina Joe, who you find out was the gentleman left beaten and battered on the floor, both of them are recovering. Tashir has basically not left Joe's side. Joe is in the process of more or less coming around. But he is very foggy, very lightheaded, and to a point that actually has Tashir rather concerned.
Where's the gorilla?
So, you have precious little time before the next event begins, but if you need to talk to anyone or have any conversations, you have an opportunity now. I need you, Arbayushi, to make a... if you were to be searching the city, what would you be using? What methods would you be going about? Because you were looking for Regina Joe too, but you were...
Investigation?
Okay.
I has that.
Okay, so make an investigation roll.
Whoa, whoa. Pass me the food.
I'm sorry, wrong investigation.
Whoa. That's a dark investigation. Oh, thank you, Feline. You love me.
You can roll to see what comes up before you decide to use it.
Yeah, I probably want to. 13. I'll keep it.
13?
Yeah.
Where are we standing on the
Count.
on the count?
I'm going to
of
give
what?
that count at the end of the session so that everybody will know exactly how badly they can screw y'all over next time.
That's
No.
appropriate. That's kind of why I was asking, so our audience would know.
So,
And I'm curious how bad I am right now.
And walk out of each
Mm.
one.
Prior to Snakebite, I had 6.
Oof.
And I've earned, I think, 2 this session.
Yeah.
I've earned one this session.
Really likes me.
so you know that Joe had been seen in the House of the Red Lotus. You know that he had been having drinks, presumably with some old acquaintances. You know that he disappeared unexpectedly. He apparently was supposed to have checked in the following day and never did. And you know that his name has come up in reference with a couple of curiosities. I don't want to say brokers, but some different curiosities dealers in the city.
Well, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you have rejoined with your friends.
Yeah.
So,
Welcome.
Hiromi-chan.
So what did I
You missed
what
it.
did I miss? Apparently.
You missed an administering of justice!
Do we still have all their damage?
You
or
missed
have-
some very...
you still have
Intense
you're still
moments.
damaged.
A fight, I presume, by administering justice.
Hi, as you say.
Yara would be proud.
It was
Personally, I'm
amazing.
slightly horrified.
Where's what's her name?
I'm trying to think. What is help
The
my case?
hair's name.
The bunny girl?
Kamahime.
Oh,
Kamahime.
where's Kamahime?
She has been injured.
She has been seen to by Tashir-san.
Did you guys find Ujina?
Yeah, he's out.
He is also seriously wounded.
Had a crappy day.
Tashir-san has not left his side.
Apparently, I went to the wrong side of town.
The rest of us,
To find
though,
stuff.
remarkably,
I am whole.
Thank you
Shinju's
for small
hole.
favors.
I have a slight,
Okay.
I have a slight bruise
How
on
is
my shoulder.
Natalia?
Yes, how is my cat after being clipped?
Your cat is fine.
Sweet.
Your cat was.
A little irate,
Your
but
cat was injured again.
Yes, that poor cat. She has 9 lives now. She has 7.
I go up and I pet the cat and go like, I will now refer to you as Neko Bushi.
Little Natalia
Yes. Yes.
rode Shinshu into battle.
She is a
would
unicorn
have
at
had
heart.
who
She is a unicorn cat.
She actually belongs to
It
the
is one of those things where talking about it
Huh.
is.
The Russian was. Wait.
Yes.
Markov is over there.
And I didn't come up with
Hello.
that.
And look, they're like, in his home country, he was an Imperial Guard.
No.
No.
He corrected us on that. He was a Yojimbo to
His
the
empress.
equivalent of his empress.
Da. She liked pastries too.
He's my new
I
sensei.
think. I don't know that I would. I don't think anyone cannot like pastries like that.
And when you look over to him, you see that there is a shield sitting on the wall, and he's 6'3" or 4, and his hands are resting about sternum high on the base of the handle of a massive 2-headed axe.
It's taller than I am.
It is taller than which one of y'all is the shortest?
Oh, wait, no.
It was either me or.
I'm
Does anyone here have the small trait?
No.
Yeah, we're all pretty short because all 3 of us are short on the short side.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
We're all tiny.
whatever would be average
That-
for a
the-
teenager.
Oh, sorry, that was
The
dumb. I couldn't
axe,
see.
Yeah.
the axe is almost 5 feet long.
yeah, it's about as tall as we are. What did you discover here, if any, other than a fight and justice?
The counterfeit
A
operation.
whole lot of counterfeiting, as she says while idly slapping the back of the head of one of the guys tied up.
Yet, you know that Hammer don't want nothing to happen to him.
I look over and I'm like, that's why I cut my hand when I slapped him.
Yet, no round ear, you bust eardrum that way.
Back of head.
Concussion.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm
So
afraid.
you found the counterfeiting, the original.
It's still missing.
The magistrates recovered several dies copied from the original,
Ah.
but both
The only
the original and our lead, the man in
And
the
then how about
Jingasa,
the man in the fine Jingasa?
he's who injured our companion, and is probably responsible for
And the bunny girl knows
most, or some, if not most, of the damage on Eugenia Joe. I would suspect.
And
Kamihime-san said her last word before she passed out was that she knew him.
So he got away.
Yes. However, there was no sign of the old man. At least none that I saw. Chaos and all.
Is there an office or anything?
A what?
Was there an office
That's
or
where
paperwork or anything?
Eugenia Joe was
Yeah.
discovered.
And magistrates have been combing the building.
Oh, okay.
So.
Ain't found.
Tashir comes in the room. Kawahime would like to speak with you.
Of course.
She's conscious.
Did you find a cure?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
We now have 9 hours left to live.
Okay.
Generous estimate.
Well, I am a monkey.
We have time. That is what matters. It won't be much, but we'll make decent. Thank you, Tashir.
Yep. He leads you into the room. They're actually treating Joe and Kawahime in the same room. Joe is in and out, and Tashir basically immediately goes back beside his mat. But
For all the shit you put me through,
Ka-
you ain't dying yet.
Kawahime is
Dagger.
Kawahime is basically back up. Her arm is heavily bandaged at the shoulder and restrained with a sling. They're not going to let her finish the tournament.
No.
So, but she is basically there. And Tashir has literally worked his magics on her. So.
Band-Aids.
One of the few things he could do well was heal. But healing has limits.
Yeah.
Did anyone get the man who did this to me?
He fled the building before we could pursue. Struck you down. Became one with the shadows.
You said you knew him?
I doubt there's anyone in this village that doesn't. His name was Daidoji Juriken. 4 years ago, he was the Topaz champion. And he was one of the star pupils of the Daidoji Harriers School. And he was disgraced.
For what cause?
It's Juriken.
I got it right! Amazing how if you just sound it out in your head, most of the time you are going to be okay.
He engaged in activities that the Harriers found dishonorable.
It must have been very dishonorable for the Harriers to use this on, because the Harriers basically were willing to do what was necessary despite the cost.
There was unrest in a border village. They wished for him to go and speak with the village elders. The village elders were very adamant about their position. He would have been within his rights to cut them down. But he was under strict orders not to engage in violence. They didn't want any uprisings. So he poisoned the village headman.
Wow.
So he is a coward as well. He is a coward as well as a murderer.
He was found out by my brother, who, and she reaches to her belt and pulls the dagger off. Managed to take this from him first. He is now bent on destroying anyone that was ever connected to my family. And I'm apparently next. And he almost succeeded.
Well, something to address it. He's going to very much succeed in killing me.
The day is not over yet.
You're not dead yet.
We have had better leads in the past, hour than we had all day yesterday. I would not give up faith yet.
The kami are with you.
You're supposed to be an optimistic. Come on, monkey.
Actually, for some reason, I think that this is all the will of Fu Ling for some reason.
That's a little on point.
And she looks like in just one random direction. He's actually at the screen.
She looks right into the camera, like Burt Reynolds in Smoking the Bandit. Yeah.
Is that alright, Deadpool?
He is a very, very dangerous man. And he has no problems killing, maiming, poisoning, subterfuge. Honor means nothing to him. And she starts to fade as the more she's talking, and Tashir comes over and lays her back down, and she starts to drift off. Tashir looks at you. My master would be the one thing that could possibly save your lives. The only problem is he is physically and mentally at the moment too far gone to call upon the means to do so. And I don't know that he'll recover before sunset. When you look at him, one of the things you all immediately notice is his left hand from here down is gone.
Two folks already knew that. That's why it's...
Yeah, so that's why I'm pointing out.
We three in character did not know that from prior.
A gift of my people was bestowed upon Ujina Joe. He lost his hand for his friends. So, he was given a new hand in return. Are any of you familiar with the legends of Hitomi and Yakima? Lord, Sun, Lady Moon. All of you would be.
Yeah.
They each had a jeweled hand. One from obsidian, one from jade. Your legend says that these are the only two that ever existed. At the risk of sounding out of turn, it wouldn't be the first time that Rokugani legend got something wrong. There are many jeweled hands that were created throughout the ages. The one that Joe had was called Ustali Saphir. Make an awareness check. Just you. It means the sapphire hand.
I got a 3. So, nope.
Thus the ma for the dope.
Correct. The hand has been removed. It grants someone worthy and blessed complete and utter immunity to poison in any form.
And if they're not blessed?
Then it's useless. It's a trinket.
Striking one, though.
But it would give the wearer the ability to never come down with a cold. No mundane illness. Simple scratches and wounds become inconveniences. There have been stories of the wandering Hare going wherever and doing daring deeds for the last 5 years. Well, the last 5 years is because he really doesn't have much to be afraid of. But it also grants him the ability to share an amount of those blessings with others, such as drawing the poison out of another.
There's hope if we follow the trail we have been led on. If we follow the original dive, we may find the hand. And it is also possible that if we find the hand, we find the die.
Under best of circumstances, because Joe is the one chosen to carry this hand, Joe would be able to recall it.
He's not able.
Correct.
But if we were to get the hand and bring it back to him, would it help his recovery?
Instantly. It would restore him.
Is there anyone else that can follow this hand?
Only when it is carried by the person that is meant to carry it does it have any magic whatsoever. Make another awareness check. The more he talks about it, the more things sound familiar.
18. Much better. Not
Much better than
not the cooling guy.
It's not until he calls it the Sapphire Hand that anything actually strikes a chord with you. But you could swear that there was an auction. And this hand was going to be part of it.
One of the auction houses, when I was investigating Regina Joe, there were some curiosities in reference to him. I'm pretty sure there was a mention of a sapphire hand being up for sale at one of them.
Track. Good.
Rear claw.
And when is that auction supposed to be?
Yeah,
This afternoon.
this afternoon.
I think we have to check out an auction.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any money?
After.
Duh, we have lots of money.
It's just fake money.
Well, not all of it is fake. You'll be surprised how much gullible Rokugani spend for wood carvings and baklava. What, you think I have big building because they like me?
You raise a fair point, though we cannot ask you to do that.
Duh, and they're not going to let little kids go into auction house unattended. You'll need someone that the Rokugani would look at with disdain and beneath them and as scum and, well, basically mean.
Other than Tashir.
Like,
Oh,
I'm staring at you with awe right
I
now.
don't say that out loud.
No, the sheer far too respectable. They let him wear mon. They don't let me look at mon.
However, you being no offense, a Gaijin merchant, which would make them in their eyes inferior to actual Rokugani merchants, which are second-class citizens.
Gaijin merchant, Gaijin item.
And money has a way of talking that even Rokugani listen.
Or at least the right Rokugani. Well, the wrong Rokugani, but you get what I'm
For
saying.
these purposes, is the right Rokugani.
I would not know
No,
which
you speak
Rokugani.
decent
I
Osaric
just read
for
the
monkey.
right tales.
She's like, My mother told me many stories about different countries.
So, and I realize now that I've finally found my voice for Markov. He sounds a lot like Artem from LA to Vegas in my head.
We
So-
have tests, and the auction is not until the afternoon.
Yeah.
We should hurry back to the dojo. I'm afraid the baklava will have to wait until afterward.
It will be a celebratory baklava. Celebrate your wins in the next test. Celebrate getting your friend's hand back. That strangest thing I've seen at auction is back. No, I take that back. I've seen stranger things at auction. There was a man's foot one time. But it wasn't made of jewels. It was made of bone and flesh, and it was stuffed and had a strange odor to
At
it.
least it wasn't a goat.
You had a question?
I was just gonna say, can I get one to go?
Yet, what do I look like? You look like I carry baklava everywhere I go.
Yes.
Now that you mention it, you pull into a third pocket.
He sits there and he looks around. Damn, you're perceptive. He takes out. I was saving this for snack. Only because Natalia likes you.
I'm gonna share with her, so.
No, yet. No. Clean up. Bad thing. No, yeah, do not give cat baklava. So,
is Hamura-sama in the room as well with us? Yeah, Toshiro and the Hare.
yeah, he's basically taking everything in.
Hamura-sama,
Hey.
you may not be much of an aid, but right now we're not sure where this former Daidoji will strike. If you will allow, since I cannot be here, and I must be elsewhere, I will leave Shinshu with our friend. She took a wound helping us.
I'm sure she'll like that.
Shinshu, guard.
He literally he walks over, he walks around her body on the mat one time, and lays down next to her head.
I have no concerns that Shinshu will interfere with the wrong people, since Markov seems to have a connection with the dog, and Hammer has probably seen the dog plenty of times. That Hammer would respect commands.
Right.
Mostly.
So, we find ourselves getting ready for our next event. The next event is the weapons test.
But did we ever do, like, I know we passed our poems or whatever test, but, like, what happened?
Oh, for the sake of argument, for those watching at home, one of the things I did
The
is...
narrative recap. Basically.
Yes, I've gone through and I have went back and watched the old videos, and one of the things that just drags on and on and on is when we do some of the more mundane tests, where it's stuff like the law and etiquette tests, which are fine for our players, but they make horrible television. So,
Did very well.
so
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I'm sure you did, but what we've done is, for the purposes of you guys at home, we basically quick rolled through some of it. Two of the other tests that took place earlier in the day, presumably, were a poetry test where the characters, all of our hopefuls, had to recite an original poem in a specific format. And who all passed that one? So, Saya and Mubo both passed their poetry tests, that stage. Saya told a fairly simplistic structure, but profound poem about the merit and the love of nature and animals and so on, and how they are companions in life, etc., etc. Whereas Mubo was more historically based and was a poem about the birth of the Owl clan in the reign of Hantai II, when the Owl clan was originally born. The second part of the competition, by the way, the remainder of our hopefuls failed their poetry test. Most spectacularly among those that failed was Tokushige, and that
Actually,
was...
can I feel that?
Sure.
She told what she thought was a very funny poem from the Monkey Clan, which was an extremely dirty limerick.
Basically. Hands fell to swords before people realized that she actually thought this was an innocent poem. Then, we had a Go test, in which all the players, all of our hopefuls wound up in playing a game of Go against another one of the hopefuls, who all passed the Go test.
It
So-
was
Oh, no,
not
oh, it wasn't
passed.
good. Yeah, it was
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Wait for
I-
this to stop.
I also had. I basically passed 3 of the 4 tests I've taken today. Because I also had to roll for the 2 tests I missed last time.
Yeah.
And I failed the horsemanship one. I failed that bad.
So, and basically, no one embarrassed themselves, and the games that any of our hopefuls won were very close. So, the weapons test that we are on now is basically a one-on-one battle. Not a duel in a conventional sense of an Ijitsu duel, but you are permitted to use any martial weapon you choose, which, to accommodate the Mantis and a few other clans, peasant weapons are included. No dishonorable weapon is included. So, for instance, there's not going to be a dummy version of a ninja toe lying around, for an example. Not that ninjas exist in Rokugan.
No, just...
So, what weapon do each of you select as your weapon of choice for this event?
Katana.
Wakizashi.
Okay.
I'll take the katana.
Wakizashi.
Okay. So,
Okay, I know I have a reason, but really?
Well, it's either that or going to be dual knives. But I figure I have higher stats with my Wakizashi than knives.
Do you have Kenjutsu?
Yes.
Do you have an emphasis in Genjutsu at all?
My Kenjutsu is 2 + 3.
well, like, do you have? Is there anything in parentheses beside it, like scimitar, katana?
Sword fight.
Okay, then that's just your note to let you know that it's sword fighting. So there are certain emphases that you may or may not gain that says you're good at sword fighting, but you're better at sword fighting with a particular weapon.
Oh,
See, that's my case.
So you
Since
could really
Kenjutsu
be just
can be
as
used
good
with
using a
Wakizashi or
katana or a
katana,
wakizashi.
the traditional route would be katana. I actually have a reason in character to prefer the wakizashi.
It's up to you.
could I do dual knives?
Yes, you could, because that is a perfectly suitable fighting style.
I would like to use dual knives then.
Okay. So, just so we can figure out where everyone is going to be, and who they're going to be facing, I need everyone to roll a d10.
Out of curiosity, what's the difference between a katana and a wakizashi?
So, a katana is basically a matter of several inches.
Okay. Is
but-
the wakizashi the little one?
A wakizashi is a shorter sword.
Okay.
So think of it as, like, if a katana is, for all intent and purpose, a short sword, and a tanto, which is the third part of a full daisho, is a dagger, then the wakizashi is the step in between.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen the 3, I just didn't know what was
It's the middle one.
What am I doing? Rolling
You're
it
rolling a d10 so we can figure out who you're facing.
Yes, I need one.
up? Oh, you want one of yours or?
Hey, either one.
I mean, he's borrowing more of mine. It's
Yes,
not like it's not going to come back to me in the end.
Yes.
Flop. Less a jump down, more a flop. You'll also hear a lot of comparisons of the katana to a European longsword, and there are better reasons to call it a comparison to that.
Yeah.
But
Or sometimes it'll get compared to a bastard sword. It's like a hand and a half.
that's usually going a
thing.
little too far on that account, because a lot of longswords and arming swords were meant, because of the pommel design, to also accommodate two hands,
I know in,
not just the handle itself.
I know in second edition D&D, he said, when using a katana, it is the equivalent of a bastard sword.
Katana is
Because it's
your
one or
katana.
two-handed weapon.
Yeah.
So, your katana is
So-
on your wakizashi is your
I need everybody's, I need to know what each person rolled on a d10. Okay, so we got, well, hold on a second here then. Mubo, 7.
7.
Saya,
5.
Hiromi,
6.
6. Shige.
7.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that'll be Mubo and Shige.
No!
And then Rio?
4.
4. Okay, I need you 3 to roll again.
Question. Not that it matters. Ooh, that's a 10. That explodes, isn't it?
Do I explode or just leave it?
No.
I don't think any of us took a wound level to matter, but
You are
do we
still
get patched
wounded.
up? Okay.
Because you haven't, getting healed has not been a focus of your attention.
Right.
I'm
So-
still well within my health.
Alright, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think any of
9.
us took enough damage to
9?
go down one.
Okay, so you will have an NPC.
Not the phone.
You got a what?
4.
4? And you got?
10.
Okay. So both of you will be facing NPCs. Or no, I take that back. You're facing Rio.
I'm
So you're facing Marty.
Okay.
So only Judy has an NPC. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get the one with Judy facing an NPC out of the way first.
Sure.
It'll also show us how this is going to wind up later on.
Yep, that too. So let's see here. Somebody randomly pick a number for me, 1 through 10.
Are you gonna bless or curse my
3.
Bless the
2,
dice
3,
with the cat.
and then let's see here. We're gonna go with you. Yep, you. Okay. So, it's time for the weapons test. You have your katana. All the weapons are heavily padded, and they're made safe. It is essentially just a basic fight. It is combat. So go ahead and make your initiative check. Tell me what your initiative is.
Which is reflex, keep, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Barring any other bonuses, reflex.
Yeah.
reflex.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, 2.
Okay.
Ah!
And you are facing a young mantis by the name of Yoritomo Yuriko, who may look familiar because she faced Omyoji in the jiu-jitsu competition yesterday.
Oh, you mean that the recipient of those sick burns that Bob layered upon her?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so what is your initiative?
2.
Specifically in this
Okay.
case, the weapons would be blunted swords to have the same weight as a real sword rather than wooden ones.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
think we all would have known that.
Yeah.
she is.
Well, now it also helps the audience.
Yeah. She is going to battle dual-wielding kamas.
What are commas?
A kama is essentially a small wooden staff about this big with a sickle on the end of it. So it's just a handheld sickle.
Primarily used for threshing wheat.
Yeah, it's a peasant weapon.
And
Yeah,
rice.
it is, but just as deadly.
One Mantis actually carried a battle might be slightly altered to be a little bit more sturdy, but otherwise the design is functionally the same.
Yeah.
It's a material
All right.
difference.
So what stance are you going to start in?
Pretty much attack, just default.
Okay. So is she, and she is going to attack first. By the way, for purposes of this test, your armor has been brought. So you have your armor.
And light armor is what, just another +5?
If it's light armor, it's plus. No, it's plus
Oh.
5, and it's a reduction of 3. So, what's your TN to be hit?
10.
10? You have no armor? It may be on the back of your sheet.
10 to be hit. It's got, with armor would be 15.
15. Alright.
Yeah. So it is 2 without it.
So, she is going to swing with her kama, and she is going to connect.
Oh, no,
So, now, for the purposes of this test, just so we know, basically you are simply engaging in combat until we're going to say, let me look at the character sheet here.
Healthy nicked.
We're going to say until you get down to the hurt level. At which point combat is stopped. It is encouraged to pull your blows. So, yes.
It's, yeah.
And your weapons are going to deal, whatever your strength is, keep 1. So, no matter what weapon it is. So,
Parity.
yes. Roll the D body part for me.
Right hand.
Okay, so she charges in immediately and swings at you overhand with one of these kama, catching you in the wrist. You're going to take 6 points of damage.
Is that before her armor?
Yes, it's before armor, so it would be 3.
The only reason I bring that up is whether or not we're the ones calculating
Yes.
the armor or not.
Yeah. Counter strike because. 28.
Yeah, you'll hit. The D body part says you hit her.
In the neck. Or it's like right here.
So,
Head.
chest.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's head.
No, that's
Head?
head.
Okay.
Melon.
Melon.
Strength,
Sorry.
keep 1.
Yeah, it was just one of those. Yeah. Roll a d6. So.
Well.
Yeah.
Your strength is a 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a headshot, so it does 2.
It's
Wake up!
Ooh.
It's like right here. Ooh.
Okay. What stance are you going into?
She's gonna stay in full attack.
You're going into full attack?
I mean, sorry, she's gonna stay in attack.
That's
No.
hard to say.
No.
Matsu up in this.
Yeah, I'm about to say, roar to Matsu coming.
Full attack. Every turn.
time, all the time, every time.
Okay, she is going to roll and hit, and her damage. Where'd she hit you?
Same place.
Ooh.
Dang.
Okay, so it actually deals no damage,
Oh, okay.
because it would have dealt 3,
Okay.
but you have armor on. However, I need you to make an agility check to see if you hold on to your sword.
12.
You do. All right, you're up.
Mm.
And feel free to be narrative with what you're doing. Especially when we get to y'all against each other, because it's going to be Ryu and Saya. And then
Mubo versus Sheik.
20? Yep. D-body part?
Oh,
Yeah.
dang it.
You bored. You made a Shige is a Kenjutsu
left.
prodigy.
Left thigh.
It's
Okay.
gonna be bad.
Hey.
3.
Okay.
Actually, no, I can't say anything because you don't have the advantage that I didn't see my tactics. You're going up against
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
I know, that's why I'm like, oh.
But
Rage!
you can get your revenge in Jutsu if you face her.
Okay.
I'm going to be
Maybe get a chance to train up some more jutsu.
She hits
I just need one. I just need one.
I've lost all
and
my
does 3
physical
points of
tests.
damage. To where? Your hand?
Again. That.
Roll again to see if you hold on to your sword. Because all of the damage she's dealing is going to your hand.
10.
10? Yes, you still hold on to it.
Mm. She's gonna be like bruised from here down. Like
Yep.
over.
No, Mr. Bond, I
Oh,
expect you
you
to
did
die.
Stephen has forgotten.
While this is going on,
Mhm.
did they announce the order of this, or are they going to call them out?
They've announced.
Okay.
So you know who you're facing.
She gets on.
You gotta go.
Actually, considering the
just like
type of sword
I'm
she actually
aware
wants
that
to
I
be.
am
Okay.
She wants
more
to.
than likely.
She wants to train actually be a better life
it's
sword.
just like,
but do
she
not
will
hold
instead
back
just
on
going.
that.
Ba-da-bong,
He's
ba-da-bong.
like,
Uh,
She
get
actually will
thrashed.
go into full
It will
attack
remind me of
mode
Yarrow,
because
and
the
that's her
next
right
won't
too.
be as
It's like,
Okay, so
She goes in a very calm center. Just like, hey,
That's
yeah!
fine.
Okay.
I'm
So-
going to.
Okay.
And she's not. She doesn't. She says that in general like inflection and cheerfulness.
Okay. So our want to be bitter life swordsman is going to do what?
She goes from that very calm center to hey,
Okay. Which, for the record, because you missed this earlier, one of the things you can do, because you don't, your void is still 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things you can do is you can called shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you do a called shot, you can only call a shot to a limb on a raise. You can also call shot, or you can also call a raise for extra damage. It'll be +5 damage to whatever you roll.
Same one she keeps hitting her on.
So you're going to call shot to her right arm. Okay.
It's more of a, she's not looking to,
Okay.
ruin her, but it's just it's a thing.
Okay. So roll to hit.
Offhand reference, disarm would have been 2.
Yes.
Plus 2 kilos to both.
Once again, I regret not starting with Void 2.
Sorry, I
Because when you're a
that
rank
is
0,
plus-
your void.
plus 2
That's
kilos.
premium. Which means you have a void 2, meaning you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm hitting
you
her
were-
right.
I'd have had a lot less stuff.
Yeah.
What'd you roll?
However, that would have been a big advantage.
37.
Yes, you hit. So you're going to hit her in the arm. You don't need to roll the D-body part. So roll your damage.
As you hear the fancy
5.
voice of a gruff badger, I'll break your arm.
I'm pretty sure she's hitting me next time, but it was worth it. It was a dramatic thing more than anything else, but it was worth it.
She drops one of her comma.
Yeah, Marty, I remember.
Now it's semicolon.
It was a surprise. It was.
Remember
She doesn't
the
need much to
original-
hit you, though.
the original
Nope.
game?
But she's also a little startled from having dropped her
I'm
weapon.
gonna call you Joe.
Of course, if she rolls 10s, it doesn't matter if she's startled or not. Okay. And then...
And of
Roll the D-body part.
Sudaro was horse girl.
It's
This is
left.
at the beginning
foot.
before he
Okay.
developed coup. And
She hits you for, it will be 4 points of damage.
A lot of steady clack, 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 yeah! Clack, clack, clack. Ow!
The whole parody of weapons thing is really.
Actually, I can spend my void to like
It is.
negate that, correct?
You can spend your void to negate up to 10 points of damage from one strike.
Yes.
negate.
Okay.
Just because.
Sam,
Since you'll add that, put that back on the stack.
Okay.
Okay.
Because again,
It
this just became dramatic.
You're up.
It got handled. Don't worry about it.
She doesn't have anything. She will just go back to attack because
Okay.
there she goes first anyway. Oh no, it's okay.
Yep, it's your turn.
It's fine until Duncan
20.
decides to just
20? You hit.
and then all of a sudden it's like,
Right in the groin, it looks like. Yeah.
yep.
What do you
No, there it went!
do?
We both
I
got hit
can't
there.
not take that damage because it's 17 and it. Unless I
And
can
it's a groin
choose
shot.
not to take the 10.
Can you choose not to explode it?
Yeah,
No.
I can't.
Oh, come on.
I
So how-
can't.
And it's a full length one.
Yep, it's a
17.
17.
And it was a
Well,
groin shot, which
that-
may or may
It's
not
the
be.
only. It's
That
the only,
actually puts her down.
Oh, it's reflected ooch from the audience.
Oh, and the scorpion does that. Ooh.
However, you realize your brother basically says,
Whereas there are other scorpion on the sidelines, you know.
I'm sure somewhere.
fair play.
Oh, I'm sure her dad's like.
Mhm.
Little girl.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Bitter wise. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, that was
So you have won your test. So next
You're
up.
now past your Gambuku, technically.
Question.
With test to
Yes.
How do
spare.
I figure out my light armor stats?
Your light armor is gives you +5 to your TN to be hit. So your TN to be
That was
So, when you're using your light armor, that's still the same, so it's your reflexes.
Well,
times
that's
5
one
plus
way to make
5.
sure they don't get
So
back
you'll
up.
have 15 right there.
Like,
And then, because you're using light armor, you put a 5 there,
Like,
Total or?
under the armor column. And then you get your total, which in this case
limp
would be
away
20.
from more accurate.
So you have a 20 to be hit. Over here, you'll put a 3 because it's light armor, and it gives you 3 damage reduction. You don't have mods, so you'll be reducing any damage you take by 3.
Yep.
And that's your armor block.
That was worth
Yep.
it. Oh,
Okay.
So grateful attack. I did
So-
have a massive moment.
we are on to Mubo versus Shige.
Shige is like pop, pop. Smiles from ear to ear.
I don't need to fill in the initiative.
No, because you're going to roll that
Okay.
before your fight starts.
Okay.
All right.
Initiative and stances.
Initiative and stances. You both roll an 8?
1!
Okay. So what stance are you taking?
Full defense.
Full attack.
I need to roll a defense check.
do.
And pray I roll good. 'Cause-
Because you did say
You're coming
come at
in.
me with all that
Oh,
you
no.
have.
Oh, trust me. If you knock him out in
And
one
she
blow,
values, she values
she's
your
not
opinion.
gonna
She
mind.
values your opinion as a friend. So
16. No, excuse me, 9. Because I only get to keep one.
Okay, so your TN to be hit right now is 15.
Yep.
15 plus 9 is 24. All right.
I got a prayer.
All right.
so I'm currently rolling a.
Your TN to be hit drops by 5.
So I'm at a 10,
But you gain +2, keep 1 on your attack roll.
Yep.
and I am raising for extra damage.
Yay!
Okay.
Because I'm rolling. I'm currently rolling 7 keep 3. So
What's your agility?
my agility is 2. My Kenjutsu is a 2, and I get +1 for price. That's 5 keep 2 normally.
5 keep 2.
+2, keep 1
Okay.
is 7, keep 3.
Okay. And you have emphasis katana? Okay.
I'll be looking into that.
The one thing is Monkey Clan Bushi start with that emphasis.
Yeah. Alrighty. Roll the bones.
You can feel free to grab another die from me if you want. Yeah.
That's a handful.
That's why he's raising for the damage. So that would be 29.
You are.
No, excuse me, that's his TN to be hit. It's changed. No. Well, no,
your,
with the raise, it's
your
29.
TN to be hit is 15.
Plus 9 from my defense.
26. 31.
Or 24.
24, so, yeah. So
this is 29, giving
29.
the raise.
Yeah, you need a 29 to hit.
There's, of course, it's on the die he borrowed from me.
And with emphasis, since I didn't roll any ones, I add.
Be plus
You add whatever your skill rank is.
So my skill rank is
2.
yeah,
Or is it 3?
It's 3.
3, so you add 3.
So that's 15, 25, 28. You hit.
Dang.
Because I think tie goes to the
30,
attacker.
34.
No, tie.
So yeah, you had to roll anything but a 1.
I rolled a 6 on my 10, so 34.
Okay, so 34. Okay, so roll your damage.
So that's keep strength plus 5.
Yes.
Let's see, location.
It's strength to keep 1 plus 5.
Yes. It's strength keep 1 plus 5.
Yeah, so my strength's only a 1.
Okay, so it's going to be 5 plus whatever you roll.
Yeesh.
Gonna hurt.
That's alright.
15.
20.
20 overall.
20 overall, so 17.
Down goes.
3. 21 total. Good night.
You see, as you basically see that, it puns!
Down.
He twirls around and around and around and around and around and around, and around, and at some point his bones went liquid and he's on the ground.
And she's.
So,
Yatta!
what I was going to do if I ever had a chance in this, and I gave myself as best I could.
Yes, you did.
What I was going to do, since I started full defense, I was going to switch to center stance on my turn, get initiative, and full attack you.
From what she saw with the fight with you and say, don't give Mubu a chance to be
Yeah, I
squirrely.
did take a head.
Okay.
We said it was 20.
The amount of damage you took?
I'm actually into out and dying.
What?
So I had 4 damage earlier, plus 17, because I reduced 3 from yours, is 21. My out and dying total is 19.
Okay, you are out.
Yeah.
You are not dying. You are out.
I'm just saying, that's how far it went.
Yeah.
It wasn't just unconscious and down. It was...
It was clank. Ah!
And did just actually for a brief, she immediately first like I checked to make sure he's breathing.
Oh, so Genja's come in and he's good. And they drag off the carcass.
When you roll it, you can't cut it back. I was expecting to roll like a 1 or a 2, 6 damage.
Yeah, mine was on the fooling unless you fooling. Stop loving me at the worst possible moments.
All right. Now to you two.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, that's right.
Like,
We're doing plus 5.
they don't teach monkeys to hit soft.
It is now.
Nor did Yarrow teach Mubo to hit soft.
Okay, so now we are on to Rio versus Saya, potentially the main event of the evening.
Oh, reflexes. For your net.
Rio?
Both of you.
What we got?
Roll reflexes.
Yeah, you need to roll your reflexes for your initiative.
Ironically enough, this is
Remember,
exactly
Food
what
Lane doesn't
Carl
matter.
did with his monkey during the tow match.
Not for an end.
But one shot at their
He
opponent.
raised for damage and then one-shotted somebody.
That's a 10. Yep. That's a 20 total for
Okay.
the
9.
crit.
Okay, so what are y'all's stances that you're going into?
The one benefit of losing initiative, if you don't go down in one swing, is you can start in a defensive stance and then switch when it comes to your point in the round.
Which is better, full defense or center?
Full defense is a better defensive stance because you'll basically make a defense check and add whatever you roll to your defense or to your TN to be hit. Which your TN to be hit is already 20.
What's your initiative overall? What'd you roll? That's important.
I rolled a 9.
Even with center stance, you can't take initiative over him.
Okay,
So
full defense right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you switch to center for that +1 keep 1 in your next turn, he's still going to act before you can attack.
So defense is 1 plus 2. So roll 2, keep 1.
Yes.
1 plus 2.
Yeah.
Roll 3, keep 2.
Roll 3.
Keep your trade.
What are your agility? Is it 2?
My agility is 3.
Agility's 3. Your defense is.
Defense is reflexes, not
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Reflex. What's your reflex? Is it 2?
2.
2.
So yeah.
2, 3. So 3, keep 2.
With fooling?
Of course.
Knit is the only 3 dude. Ooh, hello!
There
Would
he
you like
is.
to keep it?
Yes, because I haven't had yes. Okay.
So that's a Fulang point.
Yep.
17.
Okay, so the TN to hit her is 37.
In a
for the
row?
first- In a row.
And he goes,
Show me your. What the?
What stance were you going into?
Is that force? Is that force? What kind of sound is that? What?
She was just like
I'll send her for this.
Shinjo defense.
Which means you can't attack.
I know.
You see,
Okay.
Yes.
if I didn't think I'd need this elsewhere for a better idea, I would have used it.
I'm-
for defense
I haven't seen
just
that
to make
double.
sure.
I'm gonna cut you off with stance. I'm like,
Okay.
hold the phone.
Alright.
I'm used to someone going. She's going.
Yeah.
I'm
Alright.
like, okay.
Alright,
Is that
so
the center, or-
so he has adopted the center stance. So he is not acting.
So-
But that means you get the first action. So what stance do you go into to make your attack with?
Huh. Well,
Well, that was not the first. That was not the beginning that I imagined.
that was kind of anticlimactic.
Huh. I guess I go into just regular
She can
attack.
go.
Okay.
Sire!
So what's your TN to be hit? 15?
20.
20? Because your reflex is 3 too?
No, well, no, I have armor.
Okay, so your reflex is 2 plus 5. Okay, so 20. So what is your knives stat?
My knives is rank 1 and trait plus 3.
Okay, so you're rolling 4, keep 3.
There you go. You roll.
Roll. That's definitely good. Keep 3, so 12.
12.
No, wait, that's a 9. I'm sorry. 9 plus 6 is
15.
15.
Okay.
That is 4 for my 9.
Okay. Do you still have a void point?
Yeah.
If you want to spend it, it gives you an extra 1, keep 1.
I don't know. I want to win one of these things, damn it. Roll 1, keep 1. That is a 9.
Oh!
Okay, so
Shige-
that hits.
Shige joined the Pass your Kenpo too.
Alright, so roll location.
We're a real
Center mass.
Alright.
Chest.
You actually realize when she realizes
And
that,
then what is your
Shige
strength?
starts crying.
Strength is 1.
Cause
Okay.
So roll the Fulang
So roll
die.
your fooling die.
I did it!
3.
3. Okay. Let's see here. You're wearing light armor? You take 9
Yeah.
points of damage to your chest.
Your chest, your bloody
9?
Yes.
Holy.
You know,
With a
but
knife!
you know, you got that war that could negate the damage. Not that I'm hoping.
Otherwise, you're looking at wound penalties.
Yeah.
Badly. 10 points of damage.
Yeah, I was kind of glad that he
9?
didn't explode on
Batman.
initiative when I rolled that one. It's like, if I can get a chance, I can steal initiative.
No, I mean, like, basically, I mean...
You gonna burn your void point?
Oh, you would have had it first.
So,
Really?
I don't know
Best
what
I could have
happens
hoped
with
for was
this.
do enough wound penalties to give
From
me
center
half a
stance?
chance.
You are now +1. I think it's
Remember.
+1, keep 1 to whatever your
What if
next
I'm not
skill
full
check
attack?
roll is. So you're gonna get an extra +1, keep 1.
I have a tough
I
time
did
hitting
that
people.
Plus 10.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Anything but a 10,
Okay,
so of course
I need a little bit of quiet. I need you 3 to all make an awareness check.
I'm out. What do you mean? Make an awareness check.
At a severe penalty, they brought you around.
Okay.
2. Nothing.
I assume we need to worry about a Fulang die. I mean, it's a little mistake.
Well, yeah, go ahead and make it. Make your check.
12.
Okay,
17.
17. What do you get?
2.
2. The laces on the front of Ryu's armor are cut.
These blades aren't supposed to cut. Does she remember?
Go ahead and make your attack.
Oh God.
I don't want to kill him.
You're not aware.
Is she using her own knife?
Nope. This is all weaponry that's supplied to you. Go ahead, Ryu.
So I'm going to.
No.
So
I'm
the
dragging
comes
someone.
in.
Notice
He's going
it
to take a
was.
step.
We use all the laces we cut.
You need to go talk. You need to go talk to an official.
She goes talk to her.
I'm going to
Okay.
roll.
We're down to talk to
Did
her.
you share that in
Go
Mubo
back,
as well? I
and
don't know
then
if I'm
come back
actually with
forward,
you.
roll,
on
and
the
come
stairs.
up.
Well, I know you.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
My normal underhand.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a backwards flip. Agility, man, come on.
So they come now. Am I going? I don't think that's up. That's no Kenjutsu's the same. So it's 5 keep 2, and I add from stance.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So it'd be an
5,
extra 1 keep 1 to the stand.
6,
Jesus.
and I keep 3.
Yes.
Stop it.
Against what is now back down to being a 20.
Pulling any raises? Yeah, I'll be honest. I wanted Mugo to get one good shot in before he went down like a second ago. And he just went down by a second.
No.
Okay. What is your penalty at your current? Or no, you spent the void point to avoid the ones. Okay, go ahead.
He knows the relative differences in skill, and while he
There's
had one good cut, it's one that Yarrow rolled into repeatedly for years. Not a whole style.
So that's 25.
Okay. The body part.
That's 31.
You're gonna hit.
Mm.
Shoulder.
I was gonna say, this would be a bad time for a headshot.
Okay, roll your damage.
Backflip. Backflip.
So
That's
on
what
these, the
Scorpion
katanas is what? Strength
It's
plus
0. It's strength. Keep 1.
strength 1.
So what's your strength? Okay, so it's 1. Keep
No,
1.
2. You're right.
2. So you get to pick which of the 2 you keep.
Take the 9.
Okay, you got a 9 and a what?
1.
A 9 and a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't want to disarm. Don't want to disarm her literally, but I gotta put her down.
okay. You're wearing light armor. You take 15 points of damage.
Holy Batman!
Yeah, there's a scorpion running towards it over the shoulder because you would have solved that.
So we're now at 18.
It drops down. Are we're, I guess we're both going. We're in the.
You're in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
At this point, both of you make
18, you are down.
Oh,
Remember, that all adds up.
it all adds up.
hold on.
Did
Both
you have
of,
any wounds prior? Is that why you're at 18?
Yeah, I had
Okay.
a 3.
both of you make an awareness
Wait.
check.
You counted her armor when you said 15. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness.
Yep.
2. So roll 2.
I got 9.
Ignore your wound penalties. Just make your roll.
I've got an 8.
You have an 8, and you had a
9.
9. Dummy weapons don't work like this.
So I guess.
You see, once blows have been exchanged, and you both are at a moment to wait, you see the laces on the front of his armor are now cut.
So I stop.
You see that there is blood coming out from under her arm. You hear a chink as it goes into the ground. Yeah. And you've rushed over to a judge.
Yeah. As you, if he's stopping the fight,
We both stop because I'm raising
Yeah.
my
Okay.
hand.
I had it up, brought it down. This is not what we signed up.
No.
The judge calls a stop to the combat as basically as soon as he sees what's going on too, and you let him know. Holy crap!
And I'm going to her and lead her to some medical. She's
I mean, she's not that bad off because she had armor there to protect her. It's not like those gumps in the warehouse where they had no bloody armor when you started dealing that to them. It is a Kakita judge, and he comes up. Your weapon, Kakita-san. And he takes it and He holds down and pulls, and it's a live katana blade.
Hmm.
The padding slides off of it.
And I don't.
Your knives, and the same thing. Those were live blades. You retrieved your blades from the store, just like all the other
Just
contestants.
like everyone else.
You noticed yourselves and you halted combat before you could violate the rules of engagement. You both passed. Go get patched up.
Looking in the crowd, is there a...
Sadly, the only person not to pass the weapon test is the guy who went down to Oshige. And that happened.
Looking around the crowd,
So everybody
is there
but
anyone that,
Bo is now
like, is there, just looking for
effectively
You
safe.
gotta get one more.
suspicious, someone that maybe looks disgruntled about this stopping?
Make an
Yes.
investigation check.
Yeah,
Hunting
because-
is one of the things
I
I will.
will also try to like scan the
Yeah.
areas.
Okay.
That's why it's just...
Do you elbow Mubo and point him to the crowd? Because Mubo's
So
still alive.
Sugenja has already treated you.
Oh, so I'm
So is
okay.
So
yeah, basically she it's like
So I'm back to like
Yeah.
before I was
Yes.
at before. Okay.
Mubo-san, we need your eyes.
I need to keep
So
it,
does
please.
my damage go back down to 3?
Of course, of course. Go ahead.
Sugenja is presently treating you.
Okay.
It will in a few moments.
Twos. I'm very perceptive today.
18.
Actually,
18?
it's very perceptive.
Is this we all in on this?
You can.
10.
Awareness or perception?
Perception, unless you have something that goes around it.
I just want to be part of the crowd.
We did.
Go for it.
8.
Okay.
You are.
What you roll?
18.
Perception.
2.
I had 2
Stealth
tens
into
and
the crowd so I
one
can
above
see.
which one got better. I was like,
Stealth
I
into
keep
the
rolling.
crowd. Hey, ow.
You're both still like shocked.
I didn't mean to do all that.
Do you see a strange, anyone looks disgruntled or anything like that? That's what you're basically looking for?
Looking for someone, yeah, that looks disgruntled,
motive.
or well, that seems, or quickly moving out of the scene. You know, that kind of things that are out of place, something off.
There's a real fine Jingasa that's trying to look terribly inconspicuous as he leaves.
Jump him! Jump him!
And basically,
She's
I
like,
basically alerting the trying to alert like authorities or guards.
Okay. So you alert authorities. Are you taking off straight after them, or what?
following quietly. You know, just following through the crowd. Not
Okay.
There were practice weapons
Yeah.
And I
nearby.
Yes.
actually,
How inconvenient would it be for me to grab something from the practice weapon area on the way to follow?
Would not be inconvenient at all.
Is there a bow in the practice area?
Yes.
I will grab a bow and book it after.
Okay.
but I specifically tell the authorities, we believe that the perpetrator is escaping. Please cover the exit.
Okay. So
Just following, you know, moving
Casual.
the crowd. Yeah, casual. Yeah, casual. That worked real well last time. Yeah.
okay, make a stealth roll.
roll.
Are you bothering trying to be stealthy, or are you just going after the guy? Once you're pointed in the right direction.
Do I notice her starting to be stealthy? Because my first idea was get a ranged weapon.
Then no, you do not.
Okay.
Does somebody have
Yep.
12.
There was armor and there was padding to protect you from the blades somewhat. You've been patched up enough to be useful.
Sweet.
So you see what's going on.
We recognize said fine Jingasa.
Useful skill.
Yes, because this same fine Jingasa was on the head of someone that cut down a rabbit of your acquaintance. That cut down your Hare friend.
My natural inclination is to charge after the dude.
Okay.
No stealth.
Okay.
I will stealth in her wake.
Make a stealth check.
I'll be the
So we have two people stealthing.
Tag, you're it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need anyone that's not being stealthy to make athletic checks. You're basically going through the crowd trying to catch up to this person.
What? No, I gave my knife away, didn't I?
You gave one of them away.
I was about to say, can I throw it at him?
So it's reflexes, but you're going to need to get a clear shot.
Hmm.
And actually, I take it back. You did not give it away.
Mm-hmm.
He took it and examined it and then handed it back. So you actually have 2 live knives.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And you theoretically are carrying a live. You have a live katana sitting in front of you.
Wait.
15 on my athletic.
Okay.
Is there a way for me to like
On
get
my
in front of him?
Hmm?
Is there a way? Do I have the ability to get in front of him, like to outpace him and get in front
You
of
can
him?
try. It's an athletics check.
Yeah, first we gotta maneuver through the crowd. Which way?
Do like the
Give her
monkey
the
do.
fooling.
Parkour.
She's got the fooling. Give her the fooling.
This is parkour thing.
Oh, that's a foul omen.
My athletics is 1.
What's your...
What's your agility?
My agility
Couldn't help
is
that
3.
Okay, so you're rolling 4, keep 3.
Are you doing this off
That's who,
agility?
that's who Gina
Yeah.
Joe stands for.
Wouldn't matter to
There.
change my roll at all.
Yeah.
That's who Gina Joe's bread and butter.
I got a 2.
Boom! So 17
no,
plus 1. Oh, 24 and keep rolling.
Yeah.
And then a 6.
30 flat for her.
30? Okay, what'd you roll?
15. Exactly
Are you-
half of what's
Are you
on.
chasing after? You've alerted the guards.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I will snatch up a practice katana.
Okay.
And
You're trying to be stealthy AF. So what is your what did you roll?
It was 12.
You pass.
Yeah.
Your stealth check?
Yep.
Have you done
Good.
it?
Not yet.
no, I got an 8 on my athletics.
Okay.
So stealth and
Yep.
that one.
That's a good one.
So that's,
What is the bonus you're adding?
I'm quiet. I'm silent.
There you go. Okay.
So you're rolling 5,
Yeah.
aren't you?
5 cube 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're keeping the double 10s, I believe.
You pass.
29 plus.
Remember how the crowd was stealthy as that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I have live steel. What can I say?
Again?
And some of the scorpions like, I sense a disturbance.
What was that,
in the
60
red
something?
and black force.
Okay. So
Good Lord, I am a
you
sword.
actually do outpace him,
Sweet.
and you are able to get in front of a man in black robes wearing this fine jingasa.
Basically, I'm looking to stall him until reinforcements arrive, because...
How do you intend to stall him?
Song and dance. I don't know. It worked last time.
Well, I've got live
Bald shot,
blades. I know of his skill. Can I do like feint attacks or? Like just
Typically, you couldn't.
just to keep him distracted.
Feint is actually a particular maneuver in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it harder for them to hit you, is what it does. You go to attack, and every time you succeed by it, draws another position, things like that.
Right. I'm taunting the Freeling God as we speak, though.
Yes,
so.
you are. But
I do not have my cat with me. The cat is out of danger.
I'm not. Yes, the cat is out of danger.
Where is the cat?
Yes, it will effectively take you 2 raises,
Okay.
so it's just gonna make it that much harder for you to hit. But for this attack, I'll let you do it.
Okay. So what do I need to do?
How are you attacking? You've got 2 knives.
Pew pew. Boom boom.
I guess obvious attack, and then I don't know. Just
Yeah, let me remind myself the way feint works. So it's been a while. Luckily, I know where it is in the book without having to go too far.
I guess like a double feint, because I.
Oh, now you're just getting foolish.
You could involve both your knives in a feint. It doesn't change the mechanics of feint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sneak.
If you
I
are
appreciate
successful,
that. Thank you for being the not scorpion.
if you're successful, the
True,
That's
not scorpion.
It was always terrible. It's
Oh yeah.
okay, I tell a lot. If you pass, whatever you pass by, so if you beat the roll by 10, half of that is a damage bonus.
Sweet. So I'm basically going to like feint with one, and then try and actually do damage with the other.
Okay.
Distraction, I guess.
Okay. So make your knives attack.
You do in normal attack, or are you doing full attack?
Voltaire will give you +2, keep 1 on your attack roll, but
your chance to be hit is -10. So
I'm not gonna be that stupid because I know. Again, I've seen what he did to the rabbit girl.
Mm-hmm.
So just regular attacks. So my knives is rank 1 plus 3.
Yep. So 4 keep 3.
4 keep 3.
Are we in initiative order, or is this a narrative?
This is more narrative.
Ooh, I got 10. 4 keep 3, so that is 26 so far.
There's another
10,
one.
So 36.
yeah.
My dice like other people a lot.
42.
42.
Okay, you pass.
Just a live steal.
Now roll damage. Damage for a live knife is, I believe, 1 keep 2.
1 keep.
So what is your strength?
My strength is 1.
Here's the way this works. Your strength is 1. So it's 1 plus your strength, and you keep 2 dice.
So whatever.
So you're rolling 2 keep 2 basically.
Okay. So 8.
8 plus half of what you dealt in the feint. What was your total for the feint again?
42.
42. 8. So that is 42.
8 plus 21 is 29.
Well, no, it's not half of the whole thing. It's half of whatever she succeeded by.
Beat it by.
And location.
Forehead.
Hand.
Okay.
Left hand.
Left, yeah.
Okay.
Lamb chops.
No, that's fine.
You go in. You basically, he falls for the feint and starts to lean back. You come in with your other knife, and you basically stab it through his arm and pin him to the ground.
Yes!
Ooh.
Moto rage.
Moto rage.
He needs to go to the hair school.
He's going to bleed out. You hit an artery.
Oh. Damn it.
The Jingasa falls off. Not the same guy.
Healing! I have medicine.
He looks at you and goes, "Nice try. My master applauds your efforts."
Can I kick him in the face?
Can I kick him in the face?
No. When you get a good look at his face, he is getting this necrotic, blue, veiny look to him.
The blades are poisoned.
Not unlike Omyoji's hand did.
Crap, have I been poisoned? Because he cut me.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, he dosed himself with the poison.
And he does.
Damn it. Well, that was awesome.
No, it was super awesome.
So your authorities arrive, led by Kenji. So yeah.
I got all these blowing up bodies on my crime
Yeah,
scene.
it's
I need an edit with a broom.
this is the person. This is the man that you chased down. By now, you have all gathered round.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you imparted to us what he said?
Yeah, I told y'all.
Yes.
Can I be kicking his body?
No.
Mubo is listening. He isn't looking at the body. He isn't looking at his companions. He's keeping an eye out.
Right.
Yeah.
Kenji said,
Arrow knocked.
Sugenja has come over as well. And you see a very distressed look on Kenji's face. Asahina-san, what killed this man? And the Asahina, poison. Tokusama. Every instance of poison we've seen of this nature has been introduced by a blade.
Am I under arrest?
Yes, you are. Confiscate her blade and take her to my office.
You see she starts shaking.
Yeah.
Like angry shaking.
But he sits there and goes, Kenji looks at you and goes,
This is not justice. She
and
whispers that, but
and I want this man, and he points to Ryo. I want him fully examined. If there's no poison running through his veins, then I am content there was no poison on that blade.
Please be healthy.
God blame it. Live, Marty, live!
And that is where we're going to end this session.
Well, thanks to the void, I hadn't taken any scratches.
Oh, you're like, yeah, I'm fine. Okay.
So,
You want to know the benefit of being an archer?
so
Long range and full attack all day!
Hey, Joe.
folks,
Go gloat.
Hey, I didn't get to shoot anything.
that wraps up this edition of the Empyrean Throne here on Rage Quit Radio. Thank you so very much for joining us. Of course, join us for all the great shows here on Geek Carolina. We will be back on June 10th, where we will announce the winner of our Smash Up giveaway. For the record, we have 2 sessions remaining of the Empyrean Throne. We have the second half of day 2, and then we have the final day of the test of the Topaz Championship. As it stands right now, most of our party has actually passed their Gimpuku proper. Now it's just a matter of who will be the Topaz Champion. So, so folks, do come back and join us. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Hit the subscribe button, whatever you do, because that does help us out a lot. And if you want a chance to win a copy of Smash Up, the game from AEG, the wonderful deck smashing, card smashing, whatever the heck shuffle building, that's what it is, shuffle building game, then you can do that just by leaving a hashtag in the comments below to help our party next time. They will need it. So I might even allow anything that they don't use next session to carry over to the final one, because it's a bunch of rank 0 would-be samurai, apparently now against the former Topaz champion and a disgraced Daidoji Harrier. So we shall see. So we shall see what happens. For the record, anyone out there who wants to throw some foolings will these people's way. Bob still has 2, even though he's not here. Judy is up to 4. Josh is up to 3. Joe is up to 8. Marty is up to 2, and Sam is back at 0 because I activated hers at the end of this session. So
Just screwed the next 2 sessions.
so I did that.
I've noticed a trend here.
So
Remember the fact that, I only tend to be able to keep 1, and a lot of these rolls I'm not, it's a 1 or it's a Fulang. Or worse, it's a raw trait, and I can't not keep it. Yeah, I tend to run into Fulang a lot in those instances.
So folks, thank you again for joining us. Until next time, I'm Mike.
Sam.
I'm Martin.
You're running to the know, Mr. Joe.
I'm Josh.
Judy.
We'll see you next time on Rage Quit Radio.